Oh, John, thank God.
Williams, what the hell are you doing here?
Myers. Is he dead?
Myers has zero emotion. He has no motives. If he sees, he kills.
Tell the town to lock their doors. No one in, no one out.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
The following program contains strong language that is not suitable for young children. Viewer discretion is advised.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
Well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, JJ Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am founder. Well, call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Guys, imagine Baron Corbin, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows. The Baldies! There you go! It sounds Get in there!
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ. Give it time.
Now, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that...
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW Light. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. We kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
Well, he's no longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... Nope, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
All I have to say to that picture is Hulk Hogan.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine.
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
We got a wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. Then just how the fan goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
We're here.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Saturday Night Shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. I, of course, am your host, your moderator extraordinaire for the evening, as I am every week, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. And let me just get this out of the way right now. The Renegade is feeling kind of like Flash from Zootopia. So if he's a little bit slower than normal today, you understand why. Let's go ahead and begin to bring in the Island of Misfit Toys. First and foremost, Jeff Meacham in the house.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yes, as you saw in the comments section, I am very much in a no F's given kind of mood.
I suppose. My goodness. Yeah, it's
there was a spoiler that was given out for something that just occurred, and I did what I did because I had just read the news myself and figured I would upload the image, discuss it, and congratulate the young woman.
Okay.
And the fact that he threw it in the comment section before we were even on the air, when we make a habit to tell people no spoilers. I felt I was justified, boss man.
Okay. If you feel justified, then I'm not going to argue with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway,
all right,
it has been a batshit crazy day across the multiverse of all things, not just Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse Media. So time to
get
get
a batshit crazy week going back to this past Tuesday and the impromptu watch along that was done by NXT by Mr. Reliable and the Simple Man with the Spectacular Voice.
Yes, it was a eventful week that is going to carry over. I think we're off tomorrow just by sheer dumb luck, pretty much. After that, we on again. Off we go.
Which, again, if we want to reschedule dads that didn't happen for tomorrow at some point in the afternoon, evening time, we can do that.
Es posible. Es posible. I'd be here, so...
I would wait until the review is over.
No, I agree with that.
Once the review is over, we could take to the airwaves and do our Thiz name.
I'm not opposed to that. I also don't know if the review is going down because of Aaron and Mrs. Bean out of town. So I don't know if they're going to be, if he's going to be up for doing it. We'll see. Let it play out. Let it cook, as the young kiddens say.
If they don't do it, that just means we can take the airwaves earlier. Because I have an early shift on Monday, so the sooner we could get done, the better.
All right. Well, we will work with that. No DQ pending. How about that?
There we go. So I look outside, and there is definitely a lazy yellow moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees.
Yes.
Noah here. I don't see a fishing pole, but he is definitely in the dark. What is going on, Simple Man with the Spectacular Voice? First and foremost, how is your voice considering all the impromptu shit we did this week on top of the shit that was already advertised?
Yes.
My voice is fine. I'm just tired.
Hey, me too. I'm not even going to front. I sat here for about 45 minutes trying to close my eyes just for a little bit. Before 7:30, I set my alarm.
Yeah.
Because I was just so beat.
Yes.
But I maybe was able to close them for about 20 minutes. Not enough, definitely, but I feel like you today, good sir.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, especially when it's super hot here in the Midwest. You've been up since 9 a.m. Standard Times. You've watched wrestling from 5 different companies across your day. And Jesus. You haven't closed your eyes again since 9 a.m. So, yeah, I'm tired. But I'm here. Yeah, all the wrestling. But I'm here somewhat kind of going to work on my church stuff and try and stay awake. So I'm hoping that tonight is short, sweet, and simple. So that way it's like straight to bed, do church, come back home, straight to bed the entire day.
We will see what happens. Let's start bringing in the color commentators for this past week. First of all, the man who actually convinced Noah to watch my NXT live, and not just watch it live, but get on the air and do an impromptu watch along about it, so much so that they're going to run it back this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mr. Reliable, you are like my hero right now, sir. I bow to you for getting Noah on the air watching my NXT because of everything that is going on right now with this NXT crossover, which again, we'll get to that momentarily. That will be our kickoff topic for the evening.
It's amazing, isn't it?
How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I'm better after that too, and I feel like I should play the lotto this week just to test the luck I got, because I don't know how that happened.
Well, I mean, let's not get too greedy. You were unreliable yesterday. You lost your internet connection and had to bow out of the watch along from Prestige. So let's not get too greedy here.
Yeah, that's true.
Internet.
But thank you to this man that we're going to bring in, who joined us for a 3-man call on Dynamite, was able to be around and be part of the Prestige call. We just ended up turning it into a 3-man booth in your absence. The Heeb Man, James Hebert, is in the house.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you all tonight here
I'm
on
tired.
Open Mic Night?
I'm tired.
Well, I know you're tired. No,
I feel like
I heard you the first
Lucy
time.
during Vitamita Vegemin. Are you tired, run down, listless? Do you poop out at parties? Are you unpopular? Well, the answer to all your problems are in this little bottle.
In the bottle.
Well, you know what you sound like you need? Mickey Rooney's crazy pills.
No,
Wow.
I
That's
am
a cool thing to have
crazy
there.
enough
There you go.
without pills to make me crazier.
It's also
That is true.
I already have to take pills
That's true.
because of my medical issues. We don't need more medicines going down my throat in order to make me crazy.
Yes.
We don't want to turn me into, as Martin Lawrence described, a crazy, deranged motherfucker.
Yeah.
We don't need that on the show. I already lowered the ban hammer. We ain't even 15 minutes into the show.
That's true. That's fair.
Did you ban him or did you just time him out for the day?
No, I hit the ban thing.
God damn it. All right, I'll take care of that later. Okay.
Last but not least, and yes, bruh, I'm going to say it the same way I said it when you popped in. The man who can't show up for his own show, but is here now 2 weeks in a row, Stat Boy Mike is in the building.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Are we talking about drugs? Because I could use some drugs.
Oh, no. Drugs are bad, okay.
Like I need some, right?
Yeah, right.
Comments many can't say out loud.
I've been accused of leading them one my entire life.
Your job.
Yeah. Nobody lose their job over this shit or the drug use or both today. Ain't none of that shit going on.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope. Besides,
what are these drugs you speak of?
This might be the last time I get to have a proper open mic night where I can have my adult beverages, because come Monday morning after this interview I finally scored with a certain company, I might have to start being a good boy again. So,
oh boy.
Exactly.
Kick ass with that, bro. Kick ass with that.
Oh, good for you, brother.
Yes, finally heard back from them, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But Monday. Hopefully, by this time, I'll have a better idea of what the skinny will be going forward.
Yes. So everybody cross all 4 of your fingers.
Yes.
The force you must use, Jeff Meacham.
Oh, well, I mean, if we're going to go Star Wars, we can talk about that later if somebody brings it up in the Super Chats.
Yeah, true.
Anyway.
All right. So we have brought everybody in the stream. We do have a couple of Super Chats that popped in from Emmanuel Dominguez.
As he did.
$5 just saying as promised, which we appreciate that. And then another $5, Noah closer to being a Chase U student. What a moment.
Yes.
I will try to have the count on my end ahead of Tuesday's NXT stream.
Yes.
That way, Hef can pop in during the stream as producer man and let Noah know how close he is.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. He's in trouble.
If I had to guess, between Jeff and I, we're probably combined within the $300 to $400 range. So we're definitely getting ever closer to Noah having to represent the greatest university in professional wrestling, Chase U.
And drop out 5 seconds later.
And JJ, I don't know if it's divine intervention, but when we hit go live, you know who was on the screen? Chase U.
There we go.
There you go.
And if Thea Hill becomes women's champion after her victory this past week,
not gonna happen.
Then Noah has to get a T-shirt.
Never gonna
and
happen.
represent Chase U.
Yeah, Roxanne ain't losing that title unless it's to Julia or Stephanie Valkyra or Cora Jade.
I don't know.
James Friedman, is that you?
What?
It's just you're so deep voiced. I thought you were Morgan Freeman for a second.
That's because he's tired.
I told you I'm tired.
I know, that's fair. That is fair.
So we're going to kick off the festivities today with a conversation piece that I know Noah will enjoy. We actually got a little bit into this when we were watching and doing our Impact watch along. And that is the relationship, the NXT-TNA relationship that has been a thing pretty much, we can say ever since Jordan Grace appeared in the Rumble, but realistically since just before Battleground.
Right.
That was really when things got put into motion. So and social media is a wonderful place. That's total sarcasm for anyone that didn't catch that. So
no, I got
I've
you.
been reading on the interwebs a lot of people that are trying to say that WWE are stiffing TNA in this deal.
Oh my god!
Because NXT is getting the Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace. They're getting the hottest thing on the internet right now, Joe Hendry. They're getting a Rascals reunion. And TNA is getting Tatum Paxley. They're getting Izzy Dame. They're getting the No Quarter Catch crew. And on the surface, I can kind of see where people are coming from. And yeah, maybe they are getting a little bit of the short end of the stick. But the thing that I don't think fans are realizing, and this is where we can open things up and give all our thoughts on it, TNA is still pretty much on a bullshit channel that 25 people get if they climb up to their roofs and adjust their antenna with tinfoils on them.
Right.
So, and for everybody out there that got that reference, you old as dirt like the rest of us, welcome to the club.
Rabbit ears.
Welcome to the party.
But these people, Jordan Grace, the Rascals, and Joe Hendry, are now being exposed to 1-point-something million viewers on a weekly basis. Numbers that TNA hasn't drawn ever, I think.
Since Spike TV.
I don't even think they got that high on Spike, if we're being real.
Yeah.
They may have bubbled. They may have bubbled under the 800,000, the 900,000 mark, but I don't think TNA ever crossed 1 million views. And granted, NXT doesn't do it on a weekly basis either, but when you compare the numbers that TNA gets, they maybe get 100,000 to 200,000 if they're lucky. On a weekly basis. And NXT is pulling in between 700,000 and 900,000 on a weekly basis. So I think that is the point that a lot of people are missing, is that the NXT talent is getting the ability to perform maybe not in front of more people in the performance center, but more people on television. And in turn, the NXT talent is getting to wrestle people that are veterans in the game. How long has Jordan Grace been a wrestler, Noah?
Over a decade.
Over a decade. How long has Joe Hendry been a talent?
Much longer.
Okay, so, and we won't even get started on Nick Nemeth, Mustafa Ali, the other talents, Frankie Kazarian, who's over there. We won't even get started on those guys. Freaking Frankie Kazarian goes back to like 98, 99.
I'm going to say Frankie just passed 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be 99.
Yep.
So it's like, that is what the NXT talent is getting. They're getting able to work with seasoned veterans and learn something that maybe Matt Bloom and Michael Sean Hickenbottom can't teach them. While the TNA talent is getting to work in front of 900, 800,000 people on a weekly basis. And I think when people start looking at it in that aspect, I think TNA is really getting a good deal here. Mikey, I'm going to go ahead and throw to you first because I'm sure you're going to keep it even simpler than the Simple Man because you don't watch TNA and you barely watch NXT, so you can give your 2 cents real quick and you can pass it over to the man whose name is on the marquee.
I think it's a great idea that TNA and NXT are working like this. I mean, I never would have dreamed seeing Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace on WWE programming. I want to see more from them, especially, you can clip this if you want, Joe Hendry's growing on me, okay? I like the guy.
You believe in Joe Hendry?
Yes.
That's damn right.
Yes, that boy believes in Joe Hendry. I believe in something higher than Joe Hendry, but right now, if I have to believe in something in wrestling, I will believe in Joe Hendry. See, there you go. Say his name and he appears. There you go. Would I like a shout out from him? Sure. Hell, why not? You guys did last year. Why not have it my turn? Just saying. And with these two talents, hey, the sky's the limit. Keep it going. The numbers will just keep going up, up, and up. You can go as high as you want or as high until the crowd says otherwise. So absolutely, let it work. Let it cook.
Yeah.
Jeff, go ahead, bruh.
He needs to unmute. We shall wait.
Sorry, still having issues. Yeah, I've been for this from the beginning. I think it's a wonderful thing that we live in an era where it's
yeah, damn right. Oh, you've been doing your research on that motherfucker, haven't you? Haven't you, JJ? I see.
What is going on? Is the light in the room just messing with it, or what the hell's going on back there behind you?
I just turned on a virtual background, but because I don't have a green screen up, I'm losing part of my arm and everything.
Yeah,
but
that is
the prestigious one logo.
That's true.
Yeah.
That looks like fun. How do you do that?
We'll get that information to you later. Let's keep this moving.
Yeah. I've long wanted the various companies to try to work together in some capacity so we can get one of these actual WrestleMania type deals where we have all the companies involved. And it looks like we're on our way to that with this relationship. As far as the people that are saying, oh, well, NXT or what TNA is getting the short end of the stick here. That's what we would call the naysayers. That's what we would call, I'm not happy unless I have something to bitch about in my life, folks.
Mm-hmm.
It's Noah's philosophy on wrestling is never more true than right now. There is a lot of shit going on in the world in and out of wrestling, but at the end of the day, WWE and TNA, Marigold earlier this morning, late last night,
Prestige,
Prestige. All these companies are working together. At the end of the month, we've got the two gentlemen in the bottom row here calling a show that's going to feature at least one person from every active company we cover. That's not happening 2 years ago. It's just not.
No.
So anything that furthers this, anything that prolongs this relationship between these two companies and brings others into the process, number one, take my damn money. Number two, please do it because it can cover and I can make my damn money.
Yeah, and to the point that was made in the chat room, you guys need to calm down and let us cook.
Yes.
Josh Briggs is going to be part of the N1 at Pro Wrestling Noah, as is Tavion Heights.
Which is awesome.
As is Titus Alexander, who we called last night on Prestige Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is
so it's like
beautiful...
there's so much more bubbling under, as Jeff pointed out in the chat earlier.
Yeah. EO at Miracle, AJ Styles, working last night outside of the WWE. It's just a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was telling my dad this afternoon when I called to tell him about what was going on in the news. I told everybody, I started this binge of from the day I started watching wrestling back in October 6, 1990, and moving my way forward. And I'm just now hitting the end of December 1993 and how just bad it is. Oh my God. If the companies could have found a way to work together and be harmonious back then, I really think even those doldrum cards would have been exponentially better. You had a few good moments. I'm coming up on Starrcade 93 where Flair defeated Vader, which was a beautiful moment in wrestling history. But you think about all the things that were going on back then, which is, over 30 years ago now, and just what would have been if we'd got one of those aftermags come to life. We're getting it, folks. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Mm-hmm. If they could have did it 30 years ago, we probably would have had the Sting Undertaker match.
That's fair. And to the point I made at the start of this, there's actually people bitching about Briggs and Tavion Heights. I'm like, dude, did they not just get AJ Styles? Like, literally.
Yeah, like, really?
They just had the phenomenal one, and you're bitching about this tournament.
Against Marufuji, by the way.
Which, granted, I don't know a lot about Japanese wrestling, so James or Noah, you can chime in here. Yeah. But the N1 looks like it's all about up-and-comers.
Yep. And not to mention...
So to have Josh Briggs and Tavion Heights in there, that kind of fits what the purpose of the tournament is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the G1, but from what I understand about the G1 has more star power than the N1.
Yes.
The N1 is up-and-comers. The G1 is the established veterans. Would you guys say that that's a fair assessment?
I would say so, yeah.
Noah?
I would say so.
Noah, is that a fair assessment?
Not quite. Both tournaments have both a balance primarily focused on veteran experience and previous participants with a small margin of the young experience and the debuting more often than not outside of their own company. But still, it's a similar form fashion because it's a round-robin tournament that takes place through a period of time, and then the top score getters, they basically compete to see who becomes the overall winner in the end that gets the challenge for that company's world championship, where the world champion as well is involved in the tournaments respectfully. And if they win, they dictate who they face on the grandest stage of that company. New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course, is Wrestle Kingdom, and Pro Wrestling Noah is usually the New Year show, if not the show literally right before the New Year begins. Similar aspect in the 5-Star Grand Prix and Stardom, which is focused primarily on Stardom and Sendai Girls and other Joshi Pro promotions, but a similar concept nonetheless.
And Noah, by the way, about your tweet, you got it. We're going to cover that whole week.
Fuck yeah.
The whole first week, we're going to be Japanese wrestling crazy.
Good shit.
There we go.
We're covering it. I just need grabs from all the companies, then I can get shit to go.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, did you have anything else before I pass it to James?
No, I was gonna say I was gonna reach out to James, and off we go with that.
Yeah.
All
right. So listen, I am in the level of I'm tired of bitching, But there's one thing I will never get tired of bitching about, and that's bitching about you motherfuckers bitching.
That's
So
That's it.
I will start it off right there and then. I'm gonna say the same thing I said when AEW teamed up with TNA back in 2020. It wasn't a net negative for TNA then, and it isn't a net negative for TNA now.
Nope.
It's the same argument I saw then. Like, the amount of stars that came and crossovered between the two companies back when AEW did it was great. The amount of star power and crossover appeal that NXT and TNA are doing right now is great. And I'd argue this is better only because they're involving Pro Wrestling Noah involved in this crossover. And that's not a small thing. They just got AJ Styles. I don't think that was by accident when he fought Marufuji of all freaking people, by the way. And not to mention, he's Mr. TNA before TNA got their start on television. So, I mean, you're talking about the guy who's been there since day one. There's no way he's not going to cross over eventually. Fucking wait and be patient. Like, you know, I say that for the same reasons I said it when, you know, the whole thing a few years ago happened with TNA. Like, the reason why TNA ended it is because they were kind of, you know, unfortunately, dumb enough to listen to the marks that were bitching and complaining then. Meanwhile, TNA was benefiting hugely out of it. They were getting guys like Private Party, Matt Hardy, who was on AEW television on a weekly basis. They had Christian Cage win the world title.
Omega battling for both world titles.
Yes.
Jesus.
A program between the two companies, yeah. And he put Josh Alexander huge on the way out.
Huge over.
Like, it was such a big thing for TNA at that time. Just like it's a big thing for TNA now working with NXT. And having people like Jordan Grace, you know, going, possibly wanting her contract renewed. And all these other things going on in TNA. Like, Joe Hendry might be signed by the WWE because of just his social media presence alone. That dude has been working his ass off, and he's finally getting his just due. As he should, by the way.
Yes.
You know, you don't have a wrestler that has the charisma, the rock, and the musician talent of Jim Johnson. And by the way, that's high praise.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even saying that as part of the meme. I'm saying that because it's true. Like, the dude's ridiculously multi-talented.
No,
How do you not have a guy like that on your roster?
Yeah, I still kind of wish Elias was around so they could have a battle there.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? No, for sure. For me, it was just like, it was unreal. Like, I couldn't, this is why I stay off social media, because people just bitch and complain for no reason. They find, exactly what Jeff said, they find a reason to bitch and complain. I don't get why. Just let the shit play out. We're about to have the greatest wrestling renaissance in about, like, maybe a year or two from now, and all you could do is bitch and complain about the starting points of it? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Shut up. You're not helping anything. You were actually the part of the problem.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Exactly. It's just so silly.
It is silly. It really is. And no, like, for real, like, it's going to get even bigger and bigger as we go. I'm telling you, things are going to go crazy. If it doesn't happen this upcoming Mania, it may happen next year's Mania or the year after that. Things can get seriously crazy in the next few years here.
God forbid to be long-term building.
Yeah, and I'm here for the ride on all the companies that are providing wrestling. Like, why wouldn't you be? You know, you got another collaboration effort with New Japan, you know, doing Wrestle Dynasty next year with 5 different brands.
After Wrestle Kingdom and everything is already in the books for just themselves.
Yeah. Like, and now you got the two biggest companies partnering with 4 different companies each. At some point, they're going to cross paths.
They have
let
to.
it play out. Just let it play out. Relax. Not everything has to happen all at once.
Right?
Like, it's okay. Anyway, and by the way, this is coming from a person who's super impatient as typically. So if I'm saying it, then you know it's fucking true.
Well,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think all of us have kind of got that mindset where we want to see where things are going now. Society in general has become one of those societies where we want the quick fix. We don't want to let it cook. That's why people get so upset when a movie's got like a 3-hour runtime. Or when the MCU takes 23 movies to get from Iron Man to Endgame and tell a complete story.
Yes.
You know, it's like, God damn it, we saw this motherfucker 6 movies in at the end of the Avengers. Why could we have not had this in the 7th movie? Why did we have to sit through 23 movies for this shit?
Because they're all good.
Because we had to build the story.
Yes.
There were so many characters involved that we had to strain it. We had to slow build it.
Jay, how irritated was I at the end of the Royal Rumble when Cody won again? Just furious because I knew he'd win the title at WrestleMania 40. And I felt like I was getting robbed because I could have seen it live happen live in front of me at SoFi. But how beautiful did that story turn out at the end of the day? I just needed to have 2.5 months more patience, and it was all okay.
Yeah.
That's only 2.5 months of waiting for one story. This is a thing of companies coming together.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything that the 90s wrestling fan wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But these damn freaking new gen kids just can't squeeze their ass cheeks together and just wait it out. It's bothersome.
Yeah. I don't think it would happen this year. But what if the end game is Survivor Series, true brand supremacy?
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We were talking about that. How do you save Survivor Series? How do you make that be the one of the big four that still means something? Because Rumble you can make 2 nights if you've got one gender each night match. WrestleMania is already 2 nights. SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights starting in 2026. How do you have Survivor Series be that 2-night or that mega event that means something still? Put freaking tag matches back in there and, like you said, Jay, actual brand supremacy.
Exactly.
Not just manufactured caca.
Yep. All right, Walter.
So brilliant.
Yeah, well, first of all, these people are just bitching to bitch for bitching's sakes, and it's just it's the microwave generation. None of you know how to cook. You just pop shit in the microwave and push button. That's what the hell it is. You don't want to take the time up to actually chop things up, put the ingredients in it, saute it, and then let it have something cook. Right. You're just impatient. You just want to eat it. You want to eat a half frozen burrito that's still cold in the middle because you got to microwave it 10 times. That's what it is.
I didn't know we were at Chipotle, Walter.
That's what it is.
Now, you know what? It's so bad, Walter. It's not a burrito. It's one of the nasty-ass 7-Eleven chimichangas. It's sitting there.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
And then for the people saying the short end of the stick stuff, you can't say that because we're not at the end of the. If you got to wait till the relationships end and then reflect back to be able to say, okay, who got the short end of the stick? And you don't know where they're going. There's rumors. Again, we on Jeff Meets Up Network say rumors, so don't say it. That there may be like a new women's mid-card title. What if somebody from TNA beats somebody from NXT, gets their title, and that's what forces them to have to create a new title because they lost their title to a whole different company? You don't know where this is going. You don't know what stories is creating. So you just have to wait and be patient. Like, people just have no patience now. It's this generation that everything's in your face, streaming everything. You can stream whole episodes. Remember, as a kid, we had to suffer every other week. If you miss something and it's to be continued, you gotta wait a whole 7 days. That shit was dwelling on your mind that whole time. And sometimes maybe the the Dogmaster show or something interrupts it, and you got to wait 2 weeks instead of 1 week. So we had to suffer. You guys, I got all streaming and could see everything instantaneous, and people were spoiled and they don't know how to wait. Just wait. This is a great time to be a professional wrestling fan. We got all companies working together. Just let it happen. Why do we need to bitch? It's just that you want something to complain. Complainers complaining to complain. Like, and then you got other people complaining to the complainers about complaining. Like, can it just stop? Like, Jesus.
It's like everybody's Eric Cartman, dude. Like everybody is Eric Cartman. They're just so freaking short-sighted that they're just like bitch and complain about everything. They graduated from bitch you,
exactly.
not chase you, bitch you.
And we knew we had something special though. When a couple of years ago we actually heard Hardcore Country on a PA system in WWE. Mickey James with a knockout title coming out on Royal Rumble, her full TNA gimmick, not her old WWE gimmick. That was the start of something beautiful. Yeah. What was that? 3 years ago, whatever that was. Like that
that was like the test pilot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was
because we didn't pick up from there. It was a one
exactly.
shot. It was the test pilot, and then we revisited it with Jordan Grace this year, and then we hit the ground running.
Exactly. And then there's rumors of Moose versus Obafemi. Like, you can't say the short end of the stick stuff. Moose can jump over to the WWE. Like, Obi can jump to TNA and end up trying to break the system. We don't know what's going to happen. So there's no short end of the stick. Everything is just beautiful. Sit back and enjoy and shut the F up. Like, gee.
Yeah, suck up.
Yeah, I can't wait for Obafemi and Moose. I hope that actually happens now that you brought that into the ether.
Right? Well,
I need that in my life.
It wouldn't be a first time ever match, but we could get Frankie versus AJ again.
Yeah.
I said that when Frankie put it out there. I was like, take my goddamn money. I used the freaking Fry from what do you call it? What the hell's that show? Futurama. Like, please take my money for that. Both those guys still as great as they can wrestle now. Jesus Christ.
Yes, right?
People, Mike Bailey versus Wes Lee. Like, look at the matches you can do. You can do so much stuff. You don't know.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That might have to be a week when we don't have a topic, is to book our own When Worlds Collide.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, Noah, bring us home here, because I'm sure you've got something to say here about NXT.
Just watch it. Seriously, I already talked about it. What else do I need to say? I already told you what I meant when I did the impromptu with Walter. One offers the experience and established. The other one offers exposure and development. So there you go. The development goes to the experience. The experience goes to the exposure. So yeah, and I don't give a fuck about people.
Wow.
I don't give a fuck about people. So
that was simply eloquently put.
Well, hold
fucking
on
the people. That's what he's saying.
Hold on a second, Noah, before we hit the sound effect, JJ. You do care about people because you like the wrestlers, and they are people too.
Yeah, I suppose that's a different type of people. But as far as the people you're saying that don't know how to use a microwave versus those that do, they can go fuck off.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh.
What is that sound that I hear? Teleporting into the command center via the Morphin grid. The other person who is very much qualified to discuss TNA, even though she does not watch NXT, and she makes that emphatically known on every one of her broadcasts.
Quite so.
Datilla.
That's quite the introduction.
No lies detected, though, right?
That's true. No lies.
Okay.
There you go.
So, since you joined us right at the tail end of this topic, what are your thoughts on the way the NXT crossover has been handled? I don't know how much you were listening to, but a lot of people are saying that TNA is getting the short side of the stick with Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame and the No Quarter Catch crew, while NXT is getting Jordan Grace. They're getting the Rascals. They're getting Joe Hendry. You know, do you feel like TNA is getting the short end of the stick? Is it kind of like I said and Noah just reiterated, where it's more like TNA is now being able to perform on a platform where there's 800,000 viewers every week, as opposed to maybe 200,000 if we're lucky that watch Access, the people that can find it. You know, it the NXT guys getting to fight people with experience. You know, Jordan Grace being a 10+ year vet, Joe Hendry something like 15 years, Frankie Kazarian,
You
know,
mean the dad from
25
Spy Kids?
years.
True that. That's a good reference. I'm surprised with that one. Damn.
Sorry for interrupting you. I just had to throw that out there since you mentioned Joe Henry and Frankie Kazarian right after another.
That's a great reference, though. He kind of does look like the dad for Spy Kids.
Never
That's
seen
it.
Spy Kids. I don't get the reference.
That's
Antonio Banderas is the dad from Spy Kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Good comparison.
Oh. So, as far as the NXT TNA is concerned, I don't think TNA is getting a short end of the stick here. I'm really happy. I'm with this partnership. It just goes to show all those people that would say LL TNA, who watches TNA, nobody watches TNA. Clearly, people watch it, because every time someone from TNA goes to NXT, what do people chant? TNA. I think this partnership is helping TNA tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And Attila, you and I and Noah were around when AEW and TNA had the partnership, and we saw the exact same shit being said then, even though TNA was benefiting greatly from that partnership.
I disagree. I don't think TNA benefited really from the AEW one.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah.
Even though they had Christian Cage and Kenny Omega on the regular.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I think there is more benefit for the WWE one, but I could see why people would say that AEW wasn't a full-on benefit, but it was a benefit nonetheless, in my opinion. But that's fair.
Well, I wasn't watching back then, obviously, so I mean, Christian and Kenny Omega being on the show and being the Impact World Champion at the time was great, but did any Impact guys win AEW championships?
No.
So that could be why people feel that it was more one-sided.
That's fair. But then again, we haven't seen that happen on this partnership either yet.
True. Nobody has won a championship for the other company. NXT people have won on NXT. TNA people have won on TNA. The only exception to that rule, Joe Hendry got the pinfall in the main event this week.
Yep.
Well, let me put it to you this way. When AEW and TNA were doing their partnership, yeah, okay, Kenny Omega was in TNA, but when he was feuding Rich Swann never showed up to AEW.
Yeah, that's fair. And he showed
up. My point earlier, the AEW TNA relationship is actually over, so you can reflect and decide whether who got the short end of the stick, and you can have an opinion about that. This is just the beginning of this relationship. You really can't say anyone's got the short end of the stick.
I'm actually liking the NXT TNA. I don't watch NXT.
Clearly.
You need to change that.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
We know.
But
even Big G's now said that this is his NXT.
God damn, good for him.
Hey, that's good. Still, I didn't even watch this past week's NXT, and they had Joe Henry and the Rascals.
Yes.
Are you going to watch this coming week when the Rascals have their match?
No, I could just watch that match, highlights of it.
You need to watch it. We're covering it to tell. You need to watch it.
Well, she won't be here, to be fair. I don't think.
No, but she could watch it back on demand, support the multiverse, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, or at least watch our coverage of it.
Maybe that's just me, promote my shit. What do I know?
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm digging this partnership. I have no problems with it. I like it. I feel like both sides are benefiting TNA is definitely benefiting from it too. So.
And And what about the announcement today that 2 NXT stars are going to be in the Pro Wrestling Noah N1 tournament? Any thoughts there?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Styles just had a match on Noah, so
Mm-hmm. And
Just
people are
more.
already saying that, they're getting NXT guys, so Noah's getting screwed. It's like, you just had AJ Styles. Get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arguably the greatest wrestler of this generation,
I'm-
but fuck them, right?
I will be the biggest happy camper with the NXT TNA partnership when AJ Styles shows up to TNA.
Again. Yes.
That is the missing piece. AJ Styles needs to go back, even if it's just for an appearance.
He will.
And in person, not on Titantron.
Mm-hmm. That's
Give
true.
it time.
Get rid of that god awful Def Rebel shit.
True. Oh my god!
If
If he comes to Evil Ways into Get Ready to Fly, I will lose my damn mind.
I want a confrontation between Mr. TNA AJ Styles and Josh Alexander. Give you that. That's all I want out of this.
Well,
that's not all I want, but it's definitely one of the things I want.
If I'm
Well, hold
TNA
out for
and
it.
I hear I am again, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. If he gets up to I am, like, forget it. Like, you're gonna see me faint off camera. It'll be a thing. Just off I go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll be doing a watch along when that happens. No, those of us with the production side will actually be able to see him pass out in the chair in the green room.
Yes, exactly. Hey, I haven't passed out in the chair in the green room in a long time.
Yeah, the last time he was passed out in anything, he got a concussion. Let's not wish that.
Yeah, no.
No, definitely not.
Let's not do that.
No, well, while we're at the end of this, please check your DMs on Messenger for me.
I'm sorry if I almost gave you a heart attack last week, JJ.
I know, man. You reviewed NXT twice in the same night. I thought we were starting to win you over, and then back to normal this week. Typical Patilla shenanigans.
Such cynicism.
Proudly waving that fuck NXT flag.
I will say, even though I fell asleep in the middle of Heatwave, I really did think it was a great show. I really did. I went back
gave
and
it a Sean
rewatched.
Spears perfect 10.
Yeah, it was a great show. There was nothing I disliked about it. I will say it's like Battleground and Heatwave, even though they're both NXT, were like night and day. I thought that Heatwave was a much stronger and better show than Battleground.
I think what held Battleground back, and this is coming from a guy who does tune in every week, I think what held Battleground back was they were relying too much on the UFC feel of it because of that fight, the underground match. And I don't think that they capitalized on it as well as they could have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think really held them down as far as Battleground, though. I still enjoyed the show, but I'm personal bias. I love NXT. So.
I mean, Battleground was an okay show. I liked Against All Odds a lot better than I did Battleground. But Heatwave was much better than Battleground, that's for sure.
I'm just looking forward to Slammiversary and what the hell they're hyping up for a surprise. I'm just waiting. It's gonna be fun.
What's it going to take for me to watch NXT? That's a $1 million question.
Maybe $1 million.
There's one answer. Joe Hendry. What else?
$1 million. You didn't even watch this week when Joe Hendry was on.
Don't respond. It wasn't a super chat.
That's true. There we go. So, yeah.
Well, I said that if my friend watched and reviewed TNA, I would watch and review this week's NXT, but he didn't, so you can blame him.
That is true. That is true.
That's it. Pass the buck. I see how it is.
But you know who did watch it? Noah.
That's right.
That's
Andy
right. It
Hall
was
did.
even a special episode.
Yes, it was. Good for Noah, man. Noah, we're proud of you, buddy. Is this your
And he's
NXT
doing
yet?
it again this Tuesday.
Is this your NXT yet, buddy?
No.
At least he's honest.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I will
Very
take
happy.
that from Noah.
after Heatwave watched that stream, he got super excited.
I was gonna say after Heatwave, he was saying that was the best NXT show he'd seen all year and longer than that even. So
yeah,
like we've told Josh, I don't think we're ever going to get Noah to the point where this NXT is the black and gold NXT that the majority of us came in and watched, right? But he's enjoying himself in the streams. He's enjoying himself playing along with the rest of us idiots when he's not super dog ass tired on a Saturday. So much like with this TNA NXT relationship, let the man cook. He'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And with that, we will take a quick commercial break, run Noah's favorite commercial, and we'll come back with our next topic.
There you go.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
All the wrestling.
Damn.
That was the best one I think Noah's ever done because he's so tired.
Noah, you could have said it. I could have did this for you. I always
He's too tired, bro. He's too tired to give the full bravado. Let him have one.
Yes, Jeff.
What the fuck was that show on the 14th of September?
That's a UFC show.
Oh. Okay. I was like, nobody told the boss about that. What the fuck is this graphic we're showing?
I swear we did, didn't we? Oh.
Yep.
I must have missed the memo or the meeting because I was like, what the fuck was that?
It's okay.
And we need to find an updated one for Mission Pro because apparently they've changed the name from Heatwave to Midsummer Blast.
Okay, well, that's good because I was kind of getting sick of two heat waves at the same time. So, we're past the other one. All right, I'll work on that tomorrow.
There you go.
Sad, I got to work on creating StreamYard rooms.
There you go.
All right, so the next topic we're going to bring up is one that Walter suggested in the chat room. So I will let him and Jeff lead the conversation here because I did not do my due diligence. I did not watch the video. I have just been so busy doing other shit. My free time has literally been split between BJ's Restaurant, Uber Eats, live streams, eating and sleeping.
Core 5 values.
So, just like Riley has 5 emotions until now.
That was
Okay,
really
so Undertaker was during his podcast. He named his all-time his Mount Rushmore, which means you get 4 of all-time wrestling moments. So
moments now, folks. Let's keep that in mind. Moments,
not matches. Moments. Or things that meant things. The most important thing to wrestling. So I thought it would be fun if we each discuss maybe our Mount Rushmore of moments. So I don't know if you want me to start or you, Jeff.
Well, so Undertakers were Hogan slamming Andre, the Austin 316 promo, Hogan and Rock stare off at WrestleMania 18 in 2002.
Ooh, good one.
And the end of the streak.
Ooh.
Those were his 4 Mount Rushmore moments. Now, again, these Mount Rushmore things are very much like that. Subjective. But when it's coming from the GOAT, like, obviously, we're all going to have different Mount Rushmore moments. No doubt about that. but it's hard to argue with Hogan and Andre. It really is. It's the first image we
wouldn't be on my list.
up until the most recent signature because they changed it again. But for the better part of many years, that was the first image we saw on every single WWE broadcast was Hogan signing Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3.
Yep.
Again,
Mikey's getting his board ready. Here we go. Jesus Christ.
His
on 5,000.
Checked
on
it.
5,000.
So I'll give first. All right. So one of mine, I'm gonna get this one out of the way because people are gonna call me sappy. Some people might even call me a bitch, but I got a sensitive side. Damn it! One of my favorite moments as a child growing up is WrestleMania 7. Macho Man retires.
Yes.
And the reunion of Miss Elizabeth and
Good one.
Randy Savage. Like that. Look, I can get teary thinking about it. That moment would
Every
just
time.
always mean something to me. And number 2, the formation of the NWO and Hulk Hogan being the third man. I think that's because without that, you don't get DX, you don't get like WCW 82 weeks, none of that. So, and the
83.
NWO, I don't think not one of us who were around then didn't have an NWO t-shirt or walked around doing this or saying too sweet or any of that.
Right.
Like,
One NWO shirt, let alone 6. But
yeah. I do agree. Obviously, you guys know me. Undertaker is my favorite. Two of mine are his too. Like the streak ending, because damn it, 1, I don't think it should have ever ended. But 2, that when you saw that 1 on the damn screen and it became real, it's like holy shit, they actually did it. Somebody beat the Undertaker, and it's like you can never get a moment like that. No one will ever even. I don't even think anyone will ever even come close to reaching what the Undertaker reached at all those WrestleManias. And think about it, that could have been even more because he missed a couple of WrestleManias due to injury. That could have been an even higher number.
Yep.
Because he wasn't at WrestleMania 10, and what was the other one he missed?
He missed both anniversaries.
15.
Yeah.
Well, 2000 they called it.
Yeah, 2000. And then
I know he missed that one because I was there.
Yeah. And then
But
then
you
I
know who
agree
did
with him
show
with-
up to 2000? Ice-T to wrap the Godfather to the ring.
Yeah. And then I agree with him with the Stone Cold Steve Austin King of the Ring promo. Like that Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass became like the biggest selling t-shirt and the biggest phrase. Like I think every single one of us have either uttered that or made our own kind of iteration of it. So those are my Mount Rushmores there.
What's crazy about the moments with Austin and with the NWO, those are 2 weeks apart.
Exactly.
They're 2 weeks apart, and they both changed the fortunes for both companies. That like mathematically mind fucks me.
Yeah, right.
It's like both companies were just a trudging. Like and neither one of them were doing the numbers they would end up doing in 97 and 98 by any means.
No.
But when Austin laid that promo down on Jake the Snake, and then when Hogan turned to the dark side, everything changed. I will definitely have those two on my list, and I dare say without those two moments, none of us are sitting here doing this show right now.
Yep.
Because the business wouldn't have got as near as successful as it ended up getting. And I don't think there would have been a call for a program of this type or any sort of wrestling stream had the business not been forced to change itself from dying on the vine. So those two for me, without a doubt. Paul Heyman being handed the book in 1993 from Todd Gordon. It's not a moment that was on television, but it is a moment that changed everything.
Yep.
And number 4, I'm not going to get away with number 4 without sounding biased. So let me just think about it. I mean, I want to say the streak, but it's not a favorite moment. I can't stand the moment happened. Number 1,
Mm-hmm.
Did it ultimately change anything? Really?
No.
I don't feel it did.
No.
Unfortunately, a moment that year that I do feel changed the way the company operates itself and the way people presented was in August when John Cena got taken to Suplex City. Again, not my favorite moment of all time, but think about it. John Cena has never been a full-time performer since.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
People ragged on, including me, The Rock, for stepping away. Granted, he stepped completely the fuck away for 7 years. But John Cena has not been a full-time performer since he got thrown across that Staples Center 16 times.
Wow.
Trying hard. Trying hard. Brock Lesnar had not been champion in the 2 years that he'd been back until then. Brock Lesnar became the dominant world champion of the company pretty much until Roman Reigns took over that role in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a solid tie between Suplex City with John and that moment that the camera panned left from Roman Reigns, or right from Roman Reigns, and showed Paul Heyman. Because that alliance has completely shaped the last 4 years of WWE television. So yeah, NWO, 316, either Brock over Cena or Roman and Paul, and then Paul being handed the book in ECW, or my four.
Very good.
Thank you. Been watching a long goddamn time.
See, it's hard for me to pick four because I could very easily do 4 WWF, WWE, and just call it a day.
Sure. And that's,
But it's like I don't really want to do that. But at the same time, I feel if I pick something from another company, I leave out a great moment in WWE.
Right.
Number one for me, and I don't mean number one, but the first one I'm going to list off, definitely personal bias, CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Yeah, fair.
Fair. Totally fair.
Because me and Jeff and Mikey were there for that.
Well,
I was in the hotel. You guys
were in the hotel. Me and Jeff were in the arena.
Because him and Ray suck, but that's okay. We were there.
No, I had a gambling problem back then.
I was going to throw you down far under the bus, but fuck, okay.
I'll admit it.
Jesus Christ.
So that's definitely on that list for me.
That's valid. That's a good one.
A sad moment.
Uh-oh.
Raw's Eddie.
Yeah.
Because I will never forget the fact that I didn't realize it was real until Johnny Cash's Hurt started playing. And I broke into tears.
Yep.
Me too.
And Mikey was there for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a 250-pound man cry, but it's not a pleasant sight.
No, I could confirm. We look like wet saps. It's bad.
We do.
So I definitely want to get those on the list. I'm going to leave Austin 316 out because I know everybody else is going to touch that.
Yeah.
So I'm, as great of a moment as that is, I'm going to leave it off.
Okay.
I'm also going to leave the formation of the NWO off. Because, and I remember when me and Jeff did our top 10 NWO moments show, my number one was the debut of Scott Hall.
Yep.
Because without that first jump, there was no NWO.
Nope.
I wasn't even watching WCW then. Hell, I wasn't watching wrestling in general then.
Yeah.
But the line, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here," still rents space in my brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because we talked about the NXT and A crossover, like people legit thought he was sent by WWF. So I definitely have that up there. My number 4. And this is where it really gets tricky.
Yeah.
Because I have an ECW moment that I could throw in there. I even have a TNA moment in there that I can throw. Not a positive TNA moment, but definitely a game changer, and that's the arrival of Hogan Bischoff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I may get some shit from the fans in the chat room, I think my 4th one is going to be the debut of the Nexus.
Interesting.
Because that was a powerful moment to the point where Brian Danielson, got fired because of choking with the tie.
Oh, yeah.
And then from that moment on, the angle just went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the superhero had to win at SummerSlam.
Is it not
And it's
bad
something
shit?
I still haven't forgiven him for. It's something I have told him I still haven't forgiven him for. And he understands me on that.
To his face.
But that moment still lives rent-free because it was the first time really since the NWO where there was a hostile takeover, in my opinion, that looked like it was a serious threat.
Yes.
Because here were these young, hungry kids with everything to prove.
Yep.
And then it went to shit.
It was that one brief glimpse we saw of the true dark side of the American Dragon before WWE went, not a good look.
Yeah. Not trying to be salty. It's pretty much like The Fiend. Great inception.
Yep.
And then stuff went to shit.
And then Husky Harris was part of that group too.
Yes, he was.
2.0, but yes, he was part of Nexus. That's true. Yes.
As was Ryan Ryback Reeves.
Yep.
As was Mr. No Days Off, Darren Young.
Good old Fred. Yep. Is it not crazy, Jay, that Justin Roberts and Bryan Danielson were involved in that moment? And here we are 14 years later, and Justin Roberts is probably the most respected ring announcer in wrestling.
They're both in the same company.
And they're both in the same company.
Danielson's on his farewell tour.
It's just...
Justin Roberts is probably going to call him winning the world title at Wembley, dude. Like, irony.
Dude, y'all, wrestling's weird.
So, since I didn't throw it on my Mount Rushmore, I will say the ECW one I was going to do was the crucifixion of the Sandman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was big.
Yep.
It was so big it made Kurt Angle walk out.
Yep.
Yep. He
If
has said
I
it plenty
see
of
my
times.
likeness on the same episode with that footage, you will hear from my lawyers.
Yep, I remember that. There's one that could be brought up that could have been far worse than it ended up being, but I'll wait to see if it goes around the room or not.
Well, go ahead and let's go to Mikey, and then
He
we'll
seems
go
eager.
down to the middle row and do James and Noah. Then we'll end things with Datilla here.
All right. So,
What does the Statron 5000 have to say?
do you want to see this? Okay.
Oh.
No, can't see, must read.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
hear it.
I can.
Boyhood Dream.
Ooh.
I see that.
Nice. Okay.
Taker gear in the ring at WrestleMania. Cody finishing the story, and One Night Stand Cena.
Ooh, good. Just the entrance, I assume you're mentioning?
No, the
RVD winning
crowd.
and the
Being
crowd
merc-
throwing the shirt
mercifully
back.
Horrible.
The feng shui of the event, the whole.
That's fair.
The
That's
whole
fair.
crowd.
The last time WWE ECW had a vibe of ECW.
Valid. I have never been more glad to not have been able to go to a show. Because, like, as great as it had been to been there with Rob and the gang, like, I probably would have been fearing for my life in that Manhattan Center because there was some crazy shit.
I mean, you could have just been like doing the blue meanie toss because like I don't know who to root for to put my friends.
No, well, no. That's
Back then
completely
he
not
was
true
still
because
anti-Cena.
yeah. Back then, I was very much anti-John. Had not met him yet, was not friends with him yet, and I'd been Rob's friend for over a year at that point, and was literally supposed to be in that balcony with wife number one. I'm not going to say her name because, but
We'll just say SVD.
SVD, there you go. But I got called into work, and it was one of those, much like Mikey deals with now, same type of business. I need the money. The corporate structure doesn't give a shit about my personal life. Tough shit. So I blame the bullseye for that one.
Not your personal life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I'd never been more glad to not be part of a show because that shit could have been really bad really quick.
Yeah, that's fair.
But those are great moments, though. I like that. That's
really
awesome.
Do you want to elaborate on any of them, Mikey?
Well, HBK, obviously, I was being biased on that one now because that's essentially what started the journey towards, joining the family, creating the family, being part of the family. Brett and Sean, brother Bruce, and then I met you, and then I met everybody else, and I think WrestleMania 12 was the turnaround. Seeing Taker put his stuff in the ring at the end of WrestleMania there, saying his goodbye at the time, that moment's going to stick with me, and I had to put something in there for Taker. Finish the story, of course. That's just that's got to be in there because it's for Cody, and I had Hide Your Wives from Paul Heyman because that promo was just pure, unfiltered venom, and then I'm like, oh, but Cena in ECW, you can't really top that tops what Paul Heyman had to say. So I had to put Cena in there to give him a spot on the top of the list as well.
Mm-hmm.
We actually just passed 19 years since the Matt Hardy thing when Matt returned to Raw.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Yeah, like we just passed the anniversary. I think like yesterday.
Mm.
It's crazy shit, man. 19 years.
Wow.
God damn, we getting old. Fuck, where's my cane?
And now that I think about it, there's an AEW one I even could have put, and that would be Danielson using Final Countdown for the first time at Forbidden Door last year.
That was so damn good.
That was so damn
Because
good.
that shit reduced me to tears.
Yeah.
That shit. Yeah.
Damn
Happy
these
tears,
emotional
though.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
All right, James, what do you got?
So everybody said the obvious answers of like the status quo answers, really. So I'm going to probably take the biased route and just go with moments that spoke to me as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So moments. I assume that title wins can count as individual moments, so long as we're not counting the match. So that helps me out greatly. So that's probably going to be a lot of them. Fair warning. I'm going to give an honorable mention first. And I know this is going to piss a lot of people off because I have to mention this because I'm a Bostonian. Bro, I was at... Oh, shit, it's not even a part of my backdrop. I forgot about that. I was at G1 Supercard Live in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Holy shit. I'm in Madison Square Garden. First WWE show in what?
First non-WWE show.
Yeah, first non-WWE show since AAA like years ago, right? So I'm seeing this history unfold, right? I don't give a damn how bad the Ring of Honor booking was that night. Bro, I saw Matt Taven come up from Top Rope Promotions, which is a local indie in my area. Okay, so to see him ascend that ladder in that triple threat ladder match and win the Ring of Honor World title was fucking euphoria, dude.
Oh, you were there for that? That's
I was there. Dude, I couldn't have been happier. I was happier than a pig and shit. Everybody else was booing him like shit. And I was there like, this is awesome, dude. Our boy won the world championship. What the hell is life? And we're in Madison Square Garden to witness his like biggest crowning achievement to that point. Like, it's fairy tale shit, dude. You can't write that stuff up. But
you still suck for that.
Was that the version of the title that I have?
No.
Do you have the pure title, or do you have the one that has the weird ass hooks in the O? Okay, so yes, that is the one that he won. Yes, yeah, and no, it was so fucking cool. But that's an honorable mention. My number 4, Hogan at SmackDown in Toronto.
Yeah.
That was so damn good. Go back out of your way to watch it, even though with all the fucking controversies that Hogan has created. Dude, that is the first type of ovation you will ever see.
Montreal.
In Montreal, my apologies.
Yeah. No, you're good.
They would not stop cheering for him. And
No.
he was brought to tears. And for a guy that's, let's be real, kind of been caught in webs of lies and felt he always had to pathologically lie to keep his position and backstab. For everybody to still cheer him and yell at him and be like, yeah, Hogan, for him to break down into tears and for him to be Terry Bollea, dude.
Yeah, the full unclipped video of that is on, I think it's the Hulk Still Rules DVD, because they had to do a massive TV edit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I have that DVD. Yep, it's on there.
It's unreal.
It is next level. It's so good.
My number 4, for me, I have to go with Benoit winning the title. Sorry, Dattila, I know that's one of your picks. You said it in the private chat, but I love that. I love that moment so much with Benoit and Eddie hugging.
Right,
it's so tremendous. Everything that happened, but just seeing those two make it to the pinnacle, it really changed the business for the better, I think, as a result. Which leads me to number 3. Speaking of people who number 2. Another band who changed the business. Punk's return to pro wrestling. AEW Rampage: The First Dance. I mean, to see that live.
That's like AEW's most viewed YouTube.
Yeah, and to me, it was like WWE did a great job too, but nothing will compare to what AEW got for that raw emotion. That was 7 years of Punk not being in any wrestling company. Not one. And for him to come out and love this industry again, I mean, dude, that's bigger than the pipe bomb to me.
I can call during a commercial break. Sorry.
You're fine. It is so damn good. I love that moment, but it's not my number 1. My number 1 is Cody winning the title this year at Mania. I mean, Jesus. The raw emotion for everybody involved in that. I can't not give that number 1. I can't.
So you actually ranked in order, what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is wild. I wrote it goes Hogan, Benoit, Punk, Cody. So there you go. I don't know how that happened, but
you follow the generations.
Yeah. That's the moments that speak to me, so I'll put those on my Mount Rushmore, and then the Matt Taven one, which throws everything out of whack to boot.
All right, Noah.
Okay, moments. Jesus, moments. All right, fine. Just piss buddy off. Bigger than Kofi Mania, the legit women's tag team that won at WrestleMania 35, that god awful long show. The Iconics winning the women's tag team titles. They were literally the last ones you would think that would win them. And in my opinion, they deserved it more than the Bellas. So I'm glad they got it and the Bellas didn't. So that's just one thing I will put out right there. But in all seriousness, okay, moments. Well, you basically took a lot of the ones I was thinking about. But when I figure moments that affected me everlasting, one that comes to mind still to this day, it's got to be, I just had an out-of-body experience called by good old JR where I thought Shawn literally was dead. And I still believe that match he should have won. But that moment where Shawn Michaels kicked out of Undertaker's Tombstone Piledriver and the eyes literally told the story, and JR encompassed it even stronger. That will always, 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 always stick out to me. And I still, to this day, wonder how the fuck was that not it? And still, before this Genesis WrestleMania, that probably was like my one WrestleMania favorite match of all time as a whole. But yeah, that moment. You definitely got me with Clay finishing the story, because it was that brought me back to being a fan of WWE once again, actually believing that professional wrestling mattered, that change could happen, and that the business could be for the better and not just about literally the three letters that have defined this industry, quote unquote, for the last 2 decades, and everyone else not mattering. Triple H is literally making professional wrestling matter again for the first time in my life as a fan. So the fact that I'm a WWE fan again is because of that man, because the moment Cody Rhodes achieved in finishing his story. You can't find a bigger moment than that, with a longer story built, told, ran, followed, no matter what company you watched him in, and rightfully deserving, even if it was a little bit over a year overkill. But at least the end actually, followed up and mattered versus the build. So I can't fault that. Another moment. That's 2, right? Fuck it. I'm going to say AJ Styles entering Bullet Club. I never thought I'd say AJ Styles entering New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think it definitely took Bullet Club to a different level when it came to that main level appeal of a faction that literally could have a global outreach spanning generations. Probably more than the NWO, with the fact that Bullet Club still rules the world, even as War Dogs. So I think AJ Styles definitely offered a lot when he showed up there and dropped Kazuchika Okada and basically took the reins from Prince Devitt. So, yeah. And then absolutely one definite moment for me. The one moment that I always will keep with me as a fan of professional wrestling, damn it. The birth of AEW. Particularly Double or Nothing 2019 ending shot, John Moxley creating a paradigm shift. It was that night, May 25th, 2019, that the wrestling business truly was never the same again. And ever since then, good or bad, indifferent, you cannot argue with me. I don't give a fuck who you are, how reliable you might be, how credible you might be, friend or enemy. You cannot argue me that AEW has not been for the betterment of this business to get us to where we are right now. The countless unforgettable moments, restoring that passion, that faith, that outlook again, especially during its heyday. When those 3 letters arrived as part of this business, I knew we were in for something special. I just didn't know it was going to be this special or this controversial, if you ask a bunch of dickheads. But yeah, when you saw those letters AEW on those men's phones, and then you see the culmination of what this could be at its first show, with John fucking Moxley, Ohio represent, showing up and dropping one of the best in all time, Kenny Omega. Yeah, the definition sentence of paradigm shift. Enough said. So as far as moments, that's for all right, fine. I won't use the Bella, but I won't use that concept of the Bella thing as a moment. Honestly, though, yeah, I would say that the birth of AEW and the fact that Triple H proved that he can create a show that is not sports entertainment but pro wrestling, NXT Brooklyn. When those lights came up, he gave that mission statement saying the future is now, and giving me this non-strictly focused sports entertainment product, I was like, holy shit, professional wrestling might actually matter in WWE after I left this company literally beyond 2001 and didn't look back on it. So, yeah, I would say NXT's Brooklyn Breakout, AEW's Paradigm Shift, the AJ Styles Bullet Club arrival, and the fact that Shawn Michaels kicked out the Undertaker's Tombstone Power Driver at WrestleMania 25 when I thought he should have been dead to rights. It was that moment there that I thought Shawn Michaels should have won and should have beat the man. And I still say that to this day.
We knew Noah was going to have a Japan one in there.
All right, Datilla, bring us home on this one.
Wow, I was thinking about what my moments could be, and you guys all said a really good ones. But besides the obvious ones, I think for me, one of the biggest moments for me, anyways, and this is in no particular order. I'm just gonna say them. Trish and Lita main eventing Raw. I think that to me was such a big moment because that hadn't happened, and for them to do that, That was pretty cool, in my opinion. You know, for them to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me was epic. Another moment would have to probably be Edge's return at Royal Rumble after being forced to retire due to his neck injury. That for sure. And then I also have to agree with Noah. John Moxley showing up at the end of Double or Nothing and attacking Kenny Omega. I watched Double or Nothing and my jaw dropped when that happened because I was not expecting John Moxley to show up. That was a holy shit moment. Like probably one of the most iconic moments that I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
And then another one. Let me see.
Another one.
Yeah, because there's 4, right? I said that's 3. So for me,
he was just doing the DJ Khaled.
yeah, he's right.
I guess I would have to pick Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning the tag titles last year. I was there for that, and that was such a special moment.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I know that one really hit for me and Jeff. I'm surprised that you did not say the NXT debut of Joe Hendry.
True.
Well, actually, I was also gonna say the NXT Iron Woman match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. I think that was another good moment.
Oh yeah, the Izzy moment, especially because of the timeline of events we're in.
Right.
So,
right.
What was that?
So.
All right,
Those
Walter
are my
put in the
moments.
private chat that he wanted to give an honorable mention, and then we'll wrap this topic up.
Sounds
I
good.
wanted to give an honorable mention. The reason I really didn't actually say it is because I didn't think I could control my emotions, but I'm just gonna try to get out there. But as a Latino, I'm a proud Latino man. To see Eddie Guerrero conquer his demons and actually win the WWE Championship was a moment that, like, I'll never forget. Watching that No Way Out, like, brings tears to my eyes now to this day. When he actually got that 3, jumped into his mother's arm, jumped into the crowd's arm, hugged his father, hugged his mother, hugged his brother. It's like that moment for Eddie to actually say, "I did it." And then you watch the A&E special, like, of him actually talking about it, and that special they did, which A&E does well with all these history stuff that they do with the WWE. I couldn't end the subject without mentioning that. So Eddie Guerrero winning that WWE title is a big moment.
Damn, Walter trying to make someone cry over here. Like, as a fellow Latina, that meant a lot to me too. You know.
Yeah.
Walter over here cutting onions.
Yeah, and to be told, like, you're too short. You're not the typical person, and they gave it to him.
I had pasta last week, which has onions in it. Leave me alone. Don't make me cry.
Yeah,
I guess if I could mention an honorable mention, it would be Rey Mysterio winning the world title the year after Eddie Guerrero died.
Thank you. Yes,
WrestleMania 22.
Yeah. I'm a Ray Mark. I'm a pat my Ray
Yes, we know, James.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Good ones, actually.
I think Jeff is still a little bit bitter about that one. I could be wrong. He may have gotten over it by now.
Huh?
But I know for the longest time that Jeff was kind of mad about that, because if anybody was supposed to get the title, it should have been Chavo.
I agree still. I do agree with that. I do.
That's fair.
You know, it's like they took the death of Eddie and really tried to mass market it the way he would have different colored armbands to accessorize with his outfit of the week. Like, I know for the longest time Jeff had serious issue with that title victory.
I do think it could have worked if they actually booked it for the world title, though, and had Chavo kind of go heel and win the belt back, but justified. Because it's like you could have ended it at WrestleMania 23 that year, and then the two could have made up after that year-long feud, provided Bray doesn't get injured. Surgery 5 times in his left knee.
How many injury? How many knee surgeries did that man have? I thought we had a number on that, but I don't remember.
I think it's up to 372 at this point.
Okay.
I could
I'll do one more honorable just because Datilla, Matt respect you. I'm picking a woman one. I'll pick a woman one. Fuck you, Vince NXT. Did not see the scope, but was the virtuosa. Deonna Purrazzo's arrival in TNA Impact Wrestling. She redefined what it meant to be a women's champion and a knockout for 3 straight fucking years. Long may she fucking reign.
There we go. So we went from Latinos to Italians.
and piggybacking on your comment about Eddie, going to the Cow Palace for that Frisco Fiasco convention, that was just all kinds of horrible because the promoters skipped out, didn't pay some of the talent, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But being able to go inside the arena, stand in the stairwell, look down where the ring was, and be able to visualize the moment happening in front of me.
Yeah.
Got me almost as emotional as those opening streams of Johnny Cash's Hurt the night that they did the tribute. So All right. Good stuff. Stat Boy said he was going to dip out from here, so go ahead and plug nothing because you're not going to be on the air next week.
No, but I can still plug that I'm coming back on July 23rd at Tuesday.
Are you really?
Yes. I'm going to be back. Absolutely, positively sure. I am going to be back in the sports bar on July 23rd, regular time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. A lot of stuff has been happening. The ladies just got done with Wimbledon today, so that's news coming up. A lot of things have been happening that I'm trying to keep up with. But when we get back in, we're going to just continue on. The Olympics are coming up too, so definitely got to keep an eye on that. Until then, still trying to get the car fixed and still trying to get through these horrible, disgusting allergies that have just been sidelining me and all that. But hey, and this horrible heat wave that's turning the East Coast into the literal Big Apple. Anyway, I love you all, my family. This was a great show, great moments, and stick around because more to come. Love you all. Stat Boy out.
Bye, Maggie.
Bye, Maggie.
And he gone.
He's gone again.
And then there were 6. Well,
try to organize everybody the way I'd like them. All right.
Okay. Cool.
So before we get into the next topic, we will take another commercial break. I know Jeff messaged that he's going to be on the phone for a little bit. So we'll go ahead and we'll run a longer trailer and try to give him a little bit of time to get off the phone. Take a look at the Gary Hebert documentary trailer, which, much like Veer Mahan, is still coming.
Yes.
Hopefully he won't finally debut just to get released.
There's medicine for that,
Well, the whole idea is for the documentary to get released.
That's fair. We will be back.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that, that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
I can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better, or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out, separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
Jeff, JJ, you should let me know what you think of the preview I sent, because I love the feedback. I'm a feedback whore.
Remember, I told you a while back that it got jockeyed around in my thing. You needed to resend it.
Yeah, you did. I'll do that now.
Botch.
That is a botch. I completely forgot you said that. My apologies. God damn. All right, let me do the thing while you post the show. Oh, wow.
So we've got one more topic that we'll discuss before we get to our main event.
Yes.
It was suggested by Big G in the chat. And it was Jeff who suggested we went ahead and did both of them, even though I put it to a vote, because he figured we'd have the time, and we kind of do, so. Even though I feel like this one could be a lengthy conversation piece.
Mm-hmm.
Big G wanted to know what is something that we like and dislike with wrestling right now.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I feel like this is very much a loaded question. I mean, I am going to say that for me, I feel like pro wrestling is at a level and a place that it hasn't been at since the glory days of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
With WWF, WCW, and ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Between WWE and NXT, AEW and Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan, AAA, CMLL, NOAH, Stardom, all the other independent federations that are being covered. Like, this is a time for wrestling that honestly I never thought I would see again after the acquisition of WCW and ECW.
Yeah.
As far as dislike, I could sit here for an hour about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to make it very, very simple. And it's a generalization. I'm not calling out anybody specific. I'm just going to say the fans. The way they act on social media and the way they act in arenas. Every match does not need a "This is awesome" match. Every match does not need the dueling wrestler chant. You know, it was cool when that started bubbling, when we were going to PWG all the time. But I feel like that has become too much the norm.
Yep.
And it gets irritating as shit. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Fallen Angel, AJ Styles. Like, and we can go on and on. I'm over it. I'm not saying that the fans in the arena need to be like Japanese fans traditionally are and keep their mouth shut and sit on their hands.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need all that extra either.
Yeah.
The new one is the fight forever. Really?
Yeah, it's so over, by the way, that a game sold so well by that title, JJ.
Yeah, I saw, and I didn't jump on it because money was tight, but Walmart was offering that game for $5 online. The physical copy for the PS4.
Oof.
That is how horrid the sales were. That I see you, Jeff. 1 sec. But that's, for me, the fans have always been one of the best things about wrestling, because when you go to shows, it's like a fraternity. You get to catch up with buddies that you only see at the shows.
Yep.
But at the same time, some of them, I'll even go as far as to say most of them, are bubbling idiots once they get into the arena.
Idiots. True. True that.
Yes, Jeff, I saw your hand up.
I need to go. I'm sorry. I'll try to explain to whoever needs to hear it later, but I have to go.
Okay.
So I will see you guys Monday. Musings.
There you go.
All right.
Alrighty.
And then there were 5.
Well,
Datilla, we'll go ahead and throw to you next on this one.
If I'm just generalizing it, I really like what's going on right now in pro wrestling in all aspects. WWE, AEW, TNA. If there's one thing I dislike, it would probably be the IWC.
Yep.
You know, I feel like the IWC can be toxic at times. And I just feel like if people use social media as an excuse to be like horrible and shitty sometimes. So I'm not calling out anybody in particular. It's just generalizing it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I had to dislike something about wrestling, it would just be the IWC. Not granted, not everybody in the IWC is like horrible. There are some wonderful, amazing people in the IWC, but some of them just horrible.
Like
the Colts
Network, we're the good ones.
Yeah, well, sometimes, Walter.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I was going to say that's a very subjective thing. There's people out there that probably don't like our opinions and say that we're shit, that we're nothing but a bunch of marks.
Walter,
and that's their opinion, and they're allowed it.
Walter, we can't say we're the good guys after we had done a whole skit about, you know, the wheelchair fiasco with Roddy Strong and made a whole freaking comedy bit for like an hour straight about it. I don't think we can call ourselves necessarily the good guys. Yeah. We can call ourselves the anti-heroes, though.
It's just like the divide between the Sean Ross Sapp / Dave Meltzer / Brian Alvarez's of the world,
yeah,
and the Vince Russos, the Eric Bischoffs.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that love what we say and tune in on a regular basis to hear us say it.
Yep.
And there's people that would rather come in and troll than actually engage in legitimate conversation.
Yep. Thanks for the view. May I go next, sir?
Yes, go for it.
Basically, you and Dattila kind of covered it all for me. That's pretty much it. Now, everybody knows, it's no secret, that I don't watch pro wrestling on a weekly basis anymore. Lately, I've been doing more frequent stuff, but that's because, Dynamite 250, I'm not missing that. I was a day oneer, not going to miss anniversary shows, just not going to happen. There are exceptions to that rule, right? But generally speaking, I don't watch Pro Wrestling Weekly anymore. And it's exactly what you guys said you hated about the industry. It's because of the online discourse. And I think the fans are one thing. Like, yeah, they get annoying, but like, whatever. I mean, you paid a ticket. That doesn't really bother me much personally. But I think it hurts the weekly viewing experience. And I think a lot of people they may lose sight of that when they hear me, say, this is why I can't watch it on a weekly basis. It's because it can get draining at times when you're covering the negative shit, and it's always negative shit. Like all this positive stuff, and then all this negative stuff just comes crashing down. Out of nowhere.
And it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Dun, 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 dun. Nice. That's a good one. But yeah, no, like it's just for me, I'd say it's that. And the tragic thing is, and this is just for me. This is definitely not for Noah, because Noah knows how to turn that thing off. But when you're as creative and as digitally on screens as I am, as a video editor especially, it's really kind of hard to pull yourself away, especially if you're an empathic person.
Mm-hmm.
And you care about people that are kind of getting wronged. So it's hard to kind of tune in on a weekly basis. And that's just me. Like, everybody has one of these now. Everybody has a phone. And what's the first thing you're going to do when you look up, things on YouTube? Or if you're interested in wrestling, like you're interested in any other form of entertainment, what is the first thing you're going to do now? Look it up.
Yeah,
find out
Google
more
it.
information. And yeah, Google it, YouTube it, Facebook it. I don't know what you use. You could be a grandpa. You could MySpace it, for all I give a shit. But the point is, you research more about it somehow, some way. I feel it's harming the growth of what should be, benefiting everybody involved company wide, solely because of the toxicity online. Because that could be something that a person sees. And I think the more, you see at least certain ratings, it kind of shows that.
Yeah.
That's why I can't watch it weekly anymore, because it's so draining. And that's if you just have nothing to do and have no life, at least currently speaking, like I do. This man got kids, the producer. There's a reason For the Love of Wrestling ain't happening, because trying to deal with kittens and then having to deal with the childlike nature of the IWC on top of that, which is infecting the pro wrestling market at times, forget about it. I mean, come on. It's just no way, and that's why I like doing it monthly, because monthly has been so much more enjoyable for me, because I don't actually watch any of that fucking shit online. And it's so much more enjoyable. I had a blast calling Prestige. I had a blast calling the AEW show. And I have a blast next week calling the AEW show. And I might join in for Blood and Guts, and then I'll be bowing out again, right? Like, that's better for me, because I get to adjust my schedule, and thus, I'm not on this thing that pisses me off. because people piss me off. I mean, there you go. That's a simple solution to that, but it is a problem, so shall be addressed. And so it was. That's it.
Walter?
All right. I'll start with the negative. A lot of us growing up being wrestling fans had to defend wrestling because a lot of people use the F word. And no, I'm not talking about the offensive one. I mean the word fake. It's offensive to wrestling fans. So this whole bullshit of no selling and popping up after a move is as soon as it's hit, that's really, really bothering me. Like I hate this thing. Like Canadian Destroyer pop up and then another one pop up. It's really, really bothering. It's the art of the storytelling during a match is getting lost behind this whole flippity doodah doing everything and getting up. So that story and buying the false finishing is being lost. Like one of the moments on Mount Rushmore Noah mentioned that Shawn Michaels, that was a moment because he kicked out, but it was a story and it came out of nowhere and it was slow and methodical and no one expected it. Now everybody's expected to kick out of every goddamn thing. Like you need 10,000 super kicks a match. You need 8 frog splashes, 3 clotheslines from hell. Like it's all the same pattern. That's really, really getting on my nerves right now. And it's like hard to defend that when people say it's fake. It's getting harder and harder to defend that. But one positive thing, the most I like is the reach of wrestling and the global and how everything's being teamed up. This whole TNA, NXT, the reach of everything being combined and just its popularity is the best thing to me. Like literally, we're getting wrestlers jumping companies without actually losing contracts and everything. They're allowed to get more exposure out there. I feel like that's the best thing about wrestling right now. The fact that it's exposed everywhere. And it's not just the WWE juggernaut, it's everyone.
Agreed.
Yeah. To add
All right.
Oh, sorry. Well, JJ, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. Go ahead and add to his point, and then I was going to just throw it to Noah.
That's fair. I just wanted to add to your negative point and kind of just to add to it, not necessarily like be a negative Nancy. I think the way to fix that, and it is fixable, produce your own style on your moves and your presentation, which the presentation most people got down pat, and then how you perform moves. Maybe not necessarily moves themselves, because goddamn, everything has been done in pro wrestling, but how you perform them. Like when you saw Booker T show up, there was only one way you could deliver a scissors kick if you were Booker T, and it was how Booker T delivered it. You know, there's only one spin-a-rooney master. There's only one Harlem sidekick. There's only one way you could do a missile drop kick when you're Booker T. You know, there's the knife edge chop was one of the most infamous in the business because of the theatrics. Like everything with Booker was theatrics. Rob Van Dam was literally Jean-Claude Van Damme if he was in the ring. Whole presentation, martial arts, stuff like that. People should have their own twist and flair to how they not necessarily have moves, but deliver moves. Because Eddie used the frog splash, but Van Dam had the 5-star frog splash. Much like Kevin Owens has the bullfrog splash, or, you know, the Montez Ford has his take on the frog splash and stuff like that, you know. I think it's easy to fix.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of will they? That's the question.
All right, Noah, go ahead and bring us home. I know you don't like talking about negative, but I'm sure there's something about wrestling currently that kind of grinds your gears. And then what is there that you love about wrestling right now?
Let's see. Definitely the collaboration versus self-internal competition is the best thing right now because the possibilities are truly infinite. Negative thing, I mean, it's the same crutch that I freaking ignore. And I'll leave you with this. Don't be a Twitter twat. Tribalism is a self-professed, ego-driven identity where everyone believes that they're right in their own personal matter, no matter how selfish, toxic, and self-centered it is. Don't be a fuckhead.
Simple as that. I will, going back to the crowd thing that I mentioned, I will mention one more thing before we move on from this.
Yep.
The way the international crowds hijack the show. I get to a certain extent that they're just happy to get wrestling. But for fuck's sake, man, let the people in the ring actually cut their promo instead of trying to get yourself over.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah, sometimes it's like fun with the whole Dom thing, but sometimes I'm like, okay, let them get something out so I can kind of hear like what's going on. Even though it's fun to like boo the hell out of them and do that, I get it, but it's like at some point, let him say something so he can get it out.
Well, I think that's why they're trying to slowly. I noticed through this whole Liv thing, they're trying to turn him babyface because Dom is probably complaining like, guys, like I want to like get reps in on the mic and it's impossible. Like, can we find a way to rehabilitate my character, please? I beg, please.
He's not gonna go face it. Him and Liv are the heels, and Rhea's gonna go face.
I don't know, man. He's got to go face eventually.
I don't know.
Look, all I'm saying is I never thought MJF would turn face, and then he did. And then he had a great babyface run. So if he can turn face, so can Dom. Okay?
I want to see him stay heel, beat his father, and force him to retire.
That's true. I don't know.
All right. Go ahead and give your plug to Tella. I saw that she wanted to get out of here, and then we'll go to commercial.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at @Tella_. Talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays. For all things TNA, you can check me out on Body Slam, and Power Morphicon is next month, so I will be doing some Power Ranger videos as we on the road to Power Morphicon, and I will also be at Power Morphicon. More about that as we roll into August.
The Jeff Meacham Network.
Sorry, that was a botch on my end.
Botch.
It's okay. And make sure you guys tune in every week.
What about Tuesdays? Do you do videos on Tuesday night?
No, I don't work Tuesdays.
You gonna start doing videos on Tuesdays?
I don't work Tuesdays.
Boo. K Triple H.
Because the Tilla_ doesn't want to work Tuesdays.
Maybe I'll release Power Ranger content on
Tuesday. Let's go to Tilla.
I mean, you got to give yourself at least one day a week. I can relate.
I do. Tuesdays are my day of the week.
That's true.
And most of the time, it's either that or Monday. It depends on the mood.
I'll give her that. Honestly, if that's her reasoning, I can't shit on that too much.
So I don't know. Maybe by some miracle, once JJ's back, where is he? Once JJ's back over here.
I mean, he's getting trim ever since he started that new job, so he might not need that back brace.
I bet when Joe Henry does this to a WWE contract, she will start watching it.
Hey, the biggest deal for not giving us what we want. That's funny. Emmanuel is also booing me.
Well, I mean that's what they do. They're just giving you flack on the way out.
I guess somebody has to.
Maybe one day. We'll see. Never say never. I haven't said I never would watch it. I'm just saying I'm not going to watch.
Yes.
You got to give the people what they want.
Who am I?
Just don't
Jeter?
treat it like... Just don't treat it like the documentary with James.
Well, I mean, she's had more NXT uploads than I had releasing this documentary, so that's kind of already done. I mean,
2 reviews in one night.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't be too mad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I gave it a Sean Spears perfect 10. What more do you want from me?
To watch more, because if you enjoyed it enough to give it a Sean Spears perfect 10, then they're doing something right. Why would you cease to watch a product that you gave a perfect 10 to?
I will say this.
That's a fair question.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If NXT is as good as you say it is, why is it that the two biggest talking points were not NXT related? It was TNA related from this week's episode. Was there not anything else to talk about besides those two things?
Yes, there was. And there's definitely something that's been talked about a lot, at least by us on here. And that's the fact that Thea Hale won her match and could very much be ending up to challenge Roxanne Perez. And if she defeats Roxanne
Not gonna
Perez,
happen.
then Noah has to buy a Chase U t-shirt.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And to play devil's advocate to Dattila, outside of these watch-alongs and this NXT NA excitement known, I still don't watch TV because, well, fuck television. And the only TV product that actually engages me is TNA and AEW. Other than that, everything else is stream-based and rest and gaming.
That's fair.
Because I don't have Fox and Raw still too long, still has too much filter, and still to me sucks.
That's fair. Can't wait for Netflix. God damn.
I actually might give it a chance.
We'll see. We'll see where I go with but I will say from the time that I started doing this whole thing with you for JJ with NXT from January up until now, some episodes have really been a hit or miss. Some of them they start off strong and they kind of dip, pick up again, and stuff like that. So it's like I feel like, like with TNA, there's never a time where I was like, oh, this was a terrible episode. Like I feel like every episode is like great. And with NXT, I feel like sometimes it's a good episode, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's kind of like, really, this is it? Like, so that's just my take on it.
See, that's fair. And I'm
agree.
totally willing to give you your opinion, and I feel the same way about the TNA product. I feel like I haven't seen a bad show from any company other than AEW. And I'm just speaking television, not pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But there have been stuff when I'm watching TNA and I'm like, really? Why are we wasting time with this? And then there's other stuff that I'm like, I want more of this.
You mean every time with Flop Dollar and Ash by Elegance?
Yeah. Why are we wasting time on that? You know what? I want to see more Steph DeLander and PCO, God damn it.
Well, she's in Australia right now.
Take their TV time that you're giving to Flop Dollar and Dimeless Dana Brooke and give it to Steph DeLander and PCO.
Take TV time away from Jericho and put more into your fucking women's division, AEW. God damn it.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how dare you? Hi, guys. Hi. I know you don't want me to retire. Hi,
you two
guys.
are part of the problem. You endorse it.
I endorse Jericho.
Jericho's hilarious.
I like Brian Myers' version of the learning tree. You remember that, Noah?
Yes, I do. Local talent Sam Beal was part of it.
Hey, listen. There are other things that are on AEW that don't need to be on AEW. You could keep Jericho's thing and also build the women's division a lot more. And to be fair, they have been doing that lately. So,
yeah, well, you can say that about any company. And again, Raw, figure out how to book single stars for your women's division versus IKEA tag teams and factions.
Do you forget that AEW has the greatest women's wrestler ever?
What?
No, they do not.
What?
How dare you throw that out there, Walter?
Wait, what do you say? Walter, repeat. What did you say?
It was sarcasm, but I said you forget that they have the greatest women's wrestler on their roster.
Which one?
Britt Baker?
Mercedes is who he's talking about.
Oh,
well, there's two different. Here's the problem.
The queen of walking out of companies.
Here's the problem, though. There's two different Mercedes.
Like the Good Brothers.
There's two different brand of Mercedes. There's the Martinez model and there's the Monet model. So which one are we talking about?
I think he's talking about the one that's defined by 3 letters that people use 3 other letters more often than not.
Yeah, BOO. BOO.
Anyway, getting back to whatever the hell you all were doing earlier. Dattila, you about to power down. Stay out of trouble, bro.
Stay out of trouble.
Bro, okay.
Bruv.
Oh, bruv. I thought he said bro. I was like, what?
Yeah. Everybody's a bruv.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you
then,
for
you
coming
guys.
and joining us for a little bit. We will see you next time.
All right, bye.
Take it
Bye.
easy.
And then there were 4. We gotta have like a powered down sound effect. That'd be dope.
Well, speaking of women's wrestling, we are going to discuss the big news in women's wrestling for the week once we come back from Noah's favorite commercial.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
And we are back.
Odd racing, and combat
Yeah.
sports and contact sports.
About to say, Danhausen, where the hell you come from? But yes, all the wrestling.
Very nice, very evil.
Very nice, very wrestling.
So clearly that is not updated because it still has the Combat Clash in there, which aired yesterday. If you guys missed it, go to Prestige Wrestling's YouTube, watch the entire show. They gave it up for free there.
Yes.
Synced it up with our commentary. It was a fun time. The first 4 matches, we did rotating commentary where James, Walter, myself, and even Jeff joined Noah for color. And then Walter had technical difficulties and had to dip. And then we moved to a 3-man booth for match 5 through the main event. So go check that out. Before we get to the main event topic, I do want to mention that there was a match advertised that was going to be happening today. That was a pretty big deal. As soon as it loads in here, I will bring up the graphic.
I see.
Here we go.
Yes.
For the CMLL Women's World Championship, which will tie into our main event because of the reason why that belt was vacant. But these 3 women competed, and the winner
again.
Now, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about this, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Who defeated her for the TBS title?
Oh no.
Who has creative control?
Oh no.
Oh
Who's
God.
won 2 belts in 4 matches?
Oh no.
Oh God.
I think she's going to be Mercedes 3 belts going into All In.
Well,
BOO.
Well, okay. So the only problem with that is Britt Baker is in the way.
Britt Baker is probably going to be the match at All In.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Doesn't mean that she can't defeat Willow in the interim. I mean, there is an open challenge on Wednesday for episode 250. Anybody except Britt Baker. Willow could, in theory, come out for her rematch and say that Mercedes say that the only way she's going to get the opportunity is if she puts that belt on the line.
No, she can't. Challenger, no.
Oh. Well, don't spoil it because I don't know.
Oh well, worry avoided at least, JJ. There you go.
But the big news this week is that Stephanie Vaquer, and I hope I pronounced that right.
Valkyr.
There's no L in it though.
Yeah, it's weird.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So Stephanie Valkyr walked out of the companies, New Japan and CMLL, and very quickly inked a deal with the WWE.
Yep.
She is quite literally in Mexico for a house show for them right now.
Oh,
Like, that is how quickly they are throwing her out there.
well, there you go.
And of course, the IWC have issue with the way that she left the companies and went to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people had no issue when Sasha Banks and Trinity
Yep.
walked out and did what they did,
Mm-hmm.
because they were leaving the evil corporation, and Stephanie has signed with the evil corporation, even though it's no longer evil because that person is no longer in power.
Yep. Nor his associates.
On the one hand, I understand why people want to give her shit, but apparently some people, not me because I've been too busy,
Mm-hmm.
but some people have done digging, and apparently there are people, this is rumor now, keep in mind this is rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there are people in AEW and CMLL that wanted to try to get her boyfriend, husband, fiance released from prison, who is awaiting trial for attempting to murder her.
What?
So people within the companies that she did not sign with and walked away from supposedly want her husband, again, fiance, boyfriend, whoever the case is, significant other, to be a free man. Again, take this as a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just what I have been reading.
Okay.
Again, I have not had the time to personally dig into this because of how insanely busy I've been.
Okay.
In this post from multiple people, some quote unquote respected, some not quote unquote respected, some random fans in just wrestling groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing this from multiple sources.
Okay.
If that is in fact the truth, can you blame her for wanting to get into WWE?
No. No, especially with that
And
possible
on top of that, with the way WWE's women's division is beginning to stack up, the signing of Julia, whose debut is impending, Roxanne Perez, you've got Lola Vice, Walter's Latina mommy. You've got
Mamacita.
You've got BBL Bailey, as Nia Jax called her on SmackDown.
The fuck does that mean?
Brazilian butt lift.
Mamacitas.
So basically the joke was that you're not a hugger anymore. Who are you, BBL Bailey? And then she kind of turned her head around and looked towards Bailey's posterior.
That's real ironic coming from somebody who's only famous for a period of time because of her hole.
You've got
Bailey's always had
with her briefcase.
Yeah.
You've got a really good and defined women's division. I can completely understand why Stephanie would want to go here.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what is everybody's thoughts as far as the way that she left, and if it's true, why she left? Noah, I know you've been doing work, so we'll just go ahead and throw to you first, and we'll come around the room.
Yeah, as long as they don't throw her in the IKEA tag team in the LWO with Selena Vega and just waste her potential, I'm actually okay with her choices. That being said, pretended legal. Oh, who the fuck am I kidding? There's no justice. If that is true, then yeah, get the fuck away from something that holds you back from living your life. Bottom line is this: I don't look at a company. I look at the business as a whole, as a fan who keeps their phone in the pocket, learn something. Good for her. I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody wants to pursue a different venture somewhere else where bigger opportunities could await, as well as newer challenges to overcome, such as the virtuoso Diana Purrazzo, who went from TNA to AEW and now is looking to reshape it into her own marvelous masterpiece of chaos, Elimination Reign. I have nothing but respect for Stephanie Valkyrie. I've been a fan of her since discovering her last year at Resurgence and following her work through CMLL. And the thing of the matter is, the individual itself is what makes the business, not where they work or who you think they should be working for or what championship you think they should be having. So, I mean, if there are personal reasons behind it, that's nobody's fucking business. It comes out of the woman's mouth herself in Espanol with a reliable person like Denise Salcedo. So, yeah, I'm very happy for her. And at the end of the day, I hope other people follow suit. Go where you believe, the best opportunity to give what you want to give to this business can potentially happen. That not only benefits the business, but benefits you. Hopefully for the rest of your life. I wish Stephanie nothing but the best, but WWE, for the love of God, again, your main roster, make more single top female stars. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel 15 times with tag teams. It isn't working.
That's fair. Emmanuel, I do see your comment there. I did forget about that. So we will take care of that once we're done with this topic. Walter, go ahead.
I have absolutely zero issues with what she left, how she left, and why she left. If those rumors are true, get as far as effing as you can away from that toxicity. That is stupid and ignorant. Why would they do that? And that just shows how low somebody would go just because you didn't get what you want. Because you know these other companies wanted her, and they're just bitter because she signed with what is best for her and what is can provide her a potential lifestyle for the rest of her life, like Noah just said. I have zero issue with what she did, and I could only wish her the best, like Noah said. So hopefully WWE doesn't screw her up and they do it. It looked like I think they're gonna. I don't think they will though, because they already got her on a house show, like you said, in Mexico. They already want her in front of the crowd, so I think they got high hopes for her. So here's to them booking stuff correctly. But yeah, I have zero issues with what she did. For her, it's for her safety.
All right, there you go. It's funny when you mentioned the ignorance, I immediately flashed to that episode of South Park with Michael Jackson. No, that's ignorant.
yeah, I remember that one.
Nice. That's good.
All right, James. I'm sure you've got quite a bit you can say on this one, but let's try to keep it quick so we can get to Emmanuel's topic that I forgot about.
Right. Man, I had no idea that was even going around the horn. Do we know the wrestler in question? Not that they deserve the effing publicity, but
No, I
is this
do
the
not.
wrestling douchebag like that abused her or tried to murder her? Like a part of like nobody knows him, right? From
Not to my knowledge, no.
Noah, do we know
I'm gonna
who
see.
this?
I'm gonna see if I can find the information, but just keep on going.
Okay.
Games, you know by now, I keep to myself. I can give a fuck all about anybody else in this world that's not related to me or my family for my own benefit or for my family's benefit, as you were.
That is fair. And I assume Walter is just as clueless as I am. So there you go. Okay. So what I will say, even though it does seem like a bunch of sources have vetted or at the very least connected possible dots, this is all still speculation. And I'm just going to say that just to cover my own ass. And quite honestly, it's just kind of the responsible thing to do at this point.
Exactly. That's why I said that it was rumor and private chat.
Awesome. Let me see what we have here. Okay. From what I understand, this is going to be just from reading the name alone, it does look like this guy is about to be exposed by Tonkasaw, aka Grapple Vision. So this guy is definitely bad news. He has been in the he's been in the bad public light, very similar to Alberto L. Del Dipshit, for obvious effing reasons. Really not surprised there. So yeah, wrestler. Let me just see if I can find anything on this douchebag. I'm not giving him the name because if he really did that, he doesn't deserve it. So yeah. I'm just shocked that I hear stuff like that. Because okay, so I'll read what JJ sent in the private chat because to me, having the full on information and plus what I have from Stephanie Valcure will tie in perfectly. According to the complaint, Del Dipshit number two,
The person in question.
the person in question choked her and threw her against a wall. On March 9th, CMLL released a statement stating that they
energetically
condemn there we go any form of violence against women and reiterate our commitment to promote a life free of violence and harassment in our staff and attendees for future arenas. On March 10th, after a show in AAA in the city of, not even going to try to pronounce that,
Aguas Calientes, it looks like.
Thank you. Was arrested and an arrest warrant to Mexico City and charged with attempted homicide and domestic violence. Yeah, so, I mean...
I'm sorry, yeah, it's Aguas Caliente, hot water. That's
okay.
what that literally means.
Okay, gotcha. Now, my thing with that is AEW wrestlers wanted this guy free? I could see CMLL wrestlers just because the culture in Mexico is it shouldn't be the way it is. But that seems fishy to me because CMLL I can believe. Wrestlers from there, I can believe they want him back because they see it as an injustice because a lot of them are douchebags. They really don't give a fuck. Like it is abuse and neglect and homicides are through the roof there. I'm not even just saying that to be a douche. That's just how it is there. It's been a very bad epidemic for a while now, especially in Lucha Libre, unfortunately. So I just want to point that out there right now. I don't think that AEW wrestlers, unless they happen to be from CMLL, wanted this guy back.
That's what I was going to throw out there as you were pondering the question is, aren't people like the Lucha Brothers originally from CMLL?
They are from AAA, but
okay.
But
I do know that they've been working, not the Lucha Brothers, but AEW have been working recently with CMLL.
Yes.
And this whole Wrestle Dynasty thing is supposed to have CMLL involvement.
Right.
So that could be part of the basis as to why they wanted him. Now,
there is a couple things that kind of led to this theory to be pretty damn accurate, unfortunately. This tweet from Stephanie Valcure, which this is Google Translate, so I don't know if they mispronounced anything, but this is from what Google Translate says. From Stephanie Valcure herself, at this moment, I stopped belonging to the ranks of CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Clarify, I am leaving through the big door. Forever grateful to the World Wrestling Council and New Japan Pro Wrestling and in the best of terms. Now, I find it interesting that they mention World Wrestling Council and not CMLL. She does not mention CMLL once. So that tells me it's not AEW that's really the issue. It's CMLL entirely. Unless World Wrestling Council has a working relationship with CMLL, in which case, forget what I said entirely. But if they're two different entities, she did not mention CMLL at all in any kind regard, in any negative regard either. However, CMLL didn't necessarily bury Stephanie on the way out, but like didn't say anything positive or negative about her either. Probably to protect their ass legally, if this is true. And unfortunately, it ain't the first time Lucha has harbored an abuser and possible homicidal maniac. I point to Alberto Del Dipshit in AAA. So it wouldn't shock me. And judging by how CMLL responded and the fact that Stephanie Valkyrie herself did not mention CMLL at all by name, this one might be the most accurate story that any dirt sheet has reported all year. Unfortunately. That sucks. Man, I mean, at least we waited. At least we waited. I remember we even talked about it too in the private chat. Like, let's wait until we get all the facts before. And we don't even have all the facts yet, but we have most of them, I think. We wanted to wait before we reported on anything. And I think, CMLL kind of buried themselves. So, yeah, honestly, I'm with Walter. I firmly stand behind her in that decision. Stay the fuck away from there. Never come back there again. And, happy WWE contract signing day for you. As you deserve it.
Yep.
God damn.
I just have a hard time, and maybe this is my personal issues with Mercedes, Sasha, but I have a hard time gathering the fact that people are upset over this, but weren't upset over that, or trying to claim they weren't upset over that because they're not the same situation. It's like, this is 100 times worse.
This is way worse than one. And both were pretty bad, by the way. Just to clarify.
Yeah. But to our knowledge, nobody in the WWE tried to commit homicide on Sasha Banks.
No, just sexually harass her. That was it, I think. So, this is infinitely way worse. I mean, I wasn't even mad at either one. That was the thing. That's just me.
And the other thing is that if the reports are true, Stephanie walked out an hour before the show. The other two walked out in the middle of the show.
Oh, an hour before the show. Okay, so this was a recent day. So this had to have been a CMLL thing then. There's no way AEW had any say in this shit. That tells me everything I need to know then, because that's definitely a CMLL problem, not an AEW problem. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no, it's not looking good for AEW's newest partner. Oh no. Oh no. Yikes. And to be fair, I don't think it's CMLL in maybe it's not CMLL the organization, maybe it's just wrestlers that want him freed, which it seems like a lot of wrestling dirt sheets seem to corroborate that claim. So maybe it's just the wrestlers and not necessarily the company. And for AEW's sake, I hope the fuck that's the case, because that's not a good PR look.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, let's get off this topic. Let's do the topic that Emmanuel had brought up that I had forgotten about, and then we will get out of here.
Sounds
He
good.
actually brought this up on an earlier stream during the week and
Yes.
super chatted it. So he wanted us to discuss the no kick out from Damian Priest and if it ruins the mystique, I believe is what he's going for, of the match and wrestling.
Thoughts just happened.
I've had a long time to think about this, and I've watched quite a few people discuss it. I've watched Vince Russo discuss it. I've watched Bully Ray discuss it. And I've watched just some random fans discuss it. And the one who really made the most sense to me was Bully Ray. And the point that he brought up is that unless things have changed in the WWE ecostructure, the referee is the one who's trying to distract everybody. You know, he's the one that's keeping the magic flow. Even though he's supposed to kind of stay out of the way, he's also the one that's responsible for kind of keeping the aura alive. If Priest didn't kick out on his own accord, the referee should have called for the 3. I understand that Priest may have been KO'd temporarily, because Bully even pointed out that you can see him wiggling his fingers, trying to make sure that like he wasn't paralyzed or anything.
Mhm.
From the knee to the head, I think is what it was that knocked him out.
Yeah.
So it's like the referee should have done the 3 count. Seth wins the title, and then if you pull the trigger right away for Drew to cash in, so be it.
Yeah.
But by the referee not calling for the bell in the 3, the ref did more harm to the match than Priest not kicking out.
Yep.
And I thought that was a very interesting take on it, because everyone wants to blame Priest for not kicking out. They want to blame production for not hitting Drew's music quick enough. The blame falls squarely on the referee.
Yep.
The referee made a discretion call.
Mhm.
It was not the correct one. And if anybody is responsible for ruining the magic, it's the referee in that match.
Yep.
I don't know if I would say that it completely ruins the magic, because like James said at the outside of this conversation, shit happens.
Yeah.
If it was something that happened all the time, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, that kind of ruins the magic. But shit like this doesn't happen all the time. Thank God.
Yeah. And you could easily retcon this and be like, the referee screwed me, and you could suspend him, and then you could have like some special guest referee have a rematch on Raw, and then have Damian retain, and problem solved. And then you have the fair one-on-one, and then just make it like the referee was in the pocket of the Judgment Day. Maybe have him as like a shady official, NWO it, and then boom, problem solved.
Well,
there you go. Magic restored.
And even, let's think about this another way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the referee counts the 3 count. Seth Rollins wins. They pull the trigger. Drew comes out. He cashes in on Seth, basically getting back his WrestleMania moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because after defeating Seth, Priest cashed in on him. So now it's kind of gone back full circle, and Drew has the belt again. Drew goes into SummerSlam against Gunther. That's not going to be a horrible fucking match.
No, that would be tremendous.
And then with the shenanigans that have been afoot in Drew matches lately, you have CM Punk cost him the title.
In his first defense, yeah.
You get to where you were going to get anyways with a small detour Drew gets that moment back because the crowd was going ape shit when he was coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we get Gunther versus Drew for the World Heavyweight title, which, yes, please, sign me the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I like Priest, but Priest versus Gunther, I think, is going to be garbage.
Yeah.
In comparison. It could be a sleeper, because I've never seen a bad Gunther match.
Yeah.
But in comparison to what Drew versus Gunther could have been, it's going to be garbage.
Yeah. And we mentioned that because of the triple threat match that they had with Sheamus as well. Like that was phenomenal. So I would agree. However, I also could say if you're gonna do that, you could easily you could have just had like Rollins versus, or you could have had Drew versus Gunther, and then you could have had CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest to crown a number one contender. Those two are busy trying to tear each other apart, allowing Priest to get the number one contendership, and then you build Priest versus Gunther at a different pay-per-view. And then have Punk cost Drew the title, and then you can have a triple threat match between Rollins, Drew, and Punk in a Hell in a Cell. Because there's bad blood between all three of them. And there's history between all three of them. At bad blood. Boom. I did it.
Walter, Noah, anything you'd like to add to this topic before we do our final commercial and go to plugs?
Go ahead, Noah.
Shit happens.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Fucking Noah.
I was going to say stuff happens, man. We can't. I mean, he could have counted 3 because people call it a shoot count. That the referees were used to be told back in the day to just do shoot count. Like Taker's streak was almost ended before, because he was going to count the 3 because he was kind of hurt in the match before the whole Lesnar thing, because referees are told. But if he didn't, he didn't. We got to where we got to. So stuff happens. I don't think anybody per se is to blame for it, but it did kind of took a little bit away from the match. Like, what was the point of that? Why did he stop counting? And it like messed with the fans. Like you can audibly hear the fans' reaction. So it kind of took away from the mystique. But what are you gonna do? It happens. But yeah, I think Seth versus Gunther or Drew versus Gunther sounds on paper a lot better than Priest versus Gunther. But I don't give a damn who the opponent is as long as Gunther's walking out the champ. That's what I care about.
Yeah. And by the way, if you people really have a problem with the fact that there was a botched pinfall, I mean, you would hate Botchamania. Jesus Christ. I mean, Matthew, you'd be pissed at Matthew. You'd treat him like we treat Meltzer. You really don't like it. Yeah, damn.
All right. Before I run this last commercial, I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook and I found something that shocked the shit out of me. So I'm going to go ahead and mention it here. I'm reading this from WrestlingInc.com, so take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
Apparently, Dory Funk Jr. is penciled to return at the ring at 83 years of age for, and I'm probably going to botch this, but Atsushi Onida's Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling in Japan. Says the infamous hardcore promotion is due to hold a memorial show for Dory's brother, Terry Funk, on August 24th at the Kawasaki Stadium. Onita will be teaming with a yet-to-be-announced partner against Funk and Osamu Nishimura, who is confirmed to be participating on July 9th with Padre del Deathmatch, living up to the moniker by expressing his desire for it to be an explosive death match, though the stipulation has yet to be finalized. So at 83 years old, Dory Funk Jr., former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, brother of Terry Funk, the man responsible for the Funkin' Dojo, who was responsible for training the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, etc., is getting into the ring at 83 years old to wrestle a match in honor of his brother. We thought Flair's final match was fucking nuts. We may have to do this show, gentlemen.
For the dude, this is gonna be a dream. He's 83 years old. He's going into an exploding barbed wire death match. What the fuck is going on? Why? You could do what Flair did and just do a regular tag. Why is it an exploding?
All I gotta say is some doctor's pocket is really fat right now.
I was about to
All I know, I owned a couple of FMW tapes back in the day. And I've seen some of the shit they do in this company. And I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the tape, but there was a women's match that was not this bad, but it was the most extreme women's match I still have ever seen in my life.
Send that to me.
And I don't have the video anymore. I couldn't tell you what it was. I'd have to do some serious digging. But holy hell, Dory Funk Jr. at 83 years old is going to potentially be in an exploding barbed wire death match. I mean, I guess he figures if he dies in the ring, it's good for business. He's already lost his brother. He's 83 years old. He's lived a full life. Like Roddy Piper said, if you're going to die, die in the ring. Draw money with it.
I don't know about that, Chief. I don't think they meant that in a literal sense, Dory.
Trust me, it's not something I want to see happen. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but that could be his philosophy.
Don't die. Don't die like that. No. Please don't. No. I mean, to be fair, I act like it's gonna be a bad thing, but like the way they do exploding barbed wire deathmatch, the exploding things are like around the ring, so it makes it look like the ring exploded, but it didn't actually.
This is also Japan. They're knucking futs.
They are knucking futs, but if you saw the Terry Funk and Asucio Nita match, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like it is very safe. It just looks cool. And it looks dangerous, but it's actually like really cool. They'll be fine in that respect, but like it's still a hardcore match, and he's 83. I mean, I would imagine Dory would be smarter than Flair was, and hydrate and not drink beer constantly before fucking bell time. So there's that. But
some doctor got way richer to clear him. I'll tell you that.
Right. I was about to say. I mean, maybe we say this, and then all of a sudden he's gonna like pull out a fucking Canadian destroyer. Like that's what we're gonna see. It's
right.
Just some crazy shit like that. He'll do a top rope fucking Panama Sunrise and be like, "What the fuck?" And that will explode the ring. Some crazy dumb shit.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the topics. We'll run the watch along trailer one more time, then we'll come back to our shows and get the hell out of here.
Woo!
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
And we are back.
Audio wrestling and combat sports and contact sports.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
So much good stuff.
And we are tired.
Been up for probably 17 straight fucking hours, 90 degrees plus there in the fucking Midwest.
Yeah, we
I am not in a mood right now.
Trust me, no, I worked 12 hours today. I know.
I was about to say.
Thank
We all
Christ
say
on Sunday. All right, let's get through this quick.
Yeah.
Walter?
All right, so on Twitter at Walter Alex Screws, the business, I don't know why that pops JJ when I say it, but the business Instagram Cal Fire Farms and the at Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel is where you can find me on my socials.
Yes, broadcasting officially there for the first time tonight with the actual correct graphic and description and the whole nine, because Walter finally gave Jeff the clearance for his account. So now everything will be through Walter's page officially and not bootleg streamed.
Bootleg bloodline.
It's like going to the swap meet and buying a bootleg mix CD and shit.
Yeah, right.
So you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios, on Twitter, ROWJJ Williams. I post crazy things. Not as crazy and dumb and things as James does. I don't have the t-shirt graphic loaded in here. That's in a different room, but
Oh no, I thought it was in there. No, oh,
I don't know. Let me scroll real quick. No, it's
you
not
don't.
in
Yeah,
here.
you don't have that. Oh,
But anyways, yeah, I post hot takes. I post crazy shit. Follow me. I'm tired too, dude. I told y'all at the outset.
It's funny. It's all
Just as hot as Noah is. You got to remember, my car has no air conditioning, and I do Uber Eats. So trying to sit in the car, waiting for an order, no air conditioning. There's very few trees up here that give off shade.
That's true.
Like it's no bueno. I'm telling you, James.
Hi, it's me. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at jhebertside95 and also on Facebook if you want to add me at JMC Van Hebert. Even though we don't have the t-shirts, I do really cool in dumb things on the internet. Believe it or not, we have the 1 in a Million documentary trailer, and by the end of the month, the documentary will actually be coming out. Yes, it's going to be out before SummerSlam, guys. Believe it or not. I know it's been a running gag.
Nah.
So what's gonna happen first? Stat Boy reopen the sports bar, or James drop the actual documentary?
Well, if he goes next week, Stat Boy opening the sports bar. I'll give you
Stat Boy is supposed to be reopening on the 23rd, from what I understand.
Yes, he definitely him first.
Okay.
It's going to be before SummerSlam is the plan. Anyway, check out those two, and believe it or not, a Jay Hebert side. I finally am going to be dropping one. It's already pre-recorded in the can, so go check that out on my channel right here. Finally going to be updating that. It's about damn time. I know. Listen, everybody wants me to get the documentary done, so I'm putting that as a priority. But I had some time, and I was like, you know what? Just do it. Just wing it. So I winged it, and it's going to be going up. So, yeah, interesting show, that one.
There you go. And Noah.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Again, I've just been spent. I hate summer. It's my least favorite season. I don't understand you all that love this season. You're weird to me. Winter and darkness for life.
I agree.
Anyway, follow me if you choose. I barely post shit. Adam Foster 1916 on the Twix and on YouTube. Again, I mostly just do the ATW impromptu with my ATW crew. I take part in this and other activities here in the Multiverse of Media as well. I moderate City Predicting. And again, you can give your own simple poll choice opinion on all the shows we cover here across all things wrestling. And stay tuned this week again for City Predicting Summerversary, as well as Watch Along coverage for that, along with so much more. I'll be busy since Tuesday, and I'll be much more awake because thankfully it should be a little cooler as the week progresses because I am so over this summer shit. But anyways, I always wish to encourage you. Just your life, respect one another, support each other, protect your mentality, and enjoy wrestling too. It's truly as simple as that. What a great week for the professional wrestling business it's been. And seriously, people, stay off your freaking phones and try and relax on the Twix, especially when it comes to outlandish thoughts, comments, and opinions that you believe are right, which are just utter bullshit.
There you go. To Noah's point, it's been a hell of a week, and it's going to continue to be a hell of a week. Again, if you missed our call of Combat Clash PDX from Prestige Wrestling, go back in the archives across the Multiverse of Media. Check that out. You can also watch the actual event on the Prestige Wrestling YouTube channel. They gave it away for free. Meech's Musings will be back on Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. And then we kick off our regular television watch-alongs as Walter and Noah will be back to do NXT on Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Of course, the Great Cherry Show Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. And then we will have our coverage of AEW Dynamite 250 at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. We will also have our coverage of TNA Impact this week.
TNA.
5 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then almost immediately following that, going to take a little bit of a half-hour break. We will be simply predicting Slammiversary, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, that leads into our coverage of Slammiversary that'll kick
Jordan
off.
Grace deserves a better opponent. Continue.
That'll kick off at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And then, if the rumors are true, Stat Boy Sports Bar will reopen their doors on Tuesday, July 23rd. And then that same week, we've got all of this stuff too. Blood and Guts watch along for AEW Dynamite, Death Before Dishonor, UFC 304 that'll be covered by Walter Cruz and James Hebert, Bloodsport that'll be covered from Walter Cruz and James Hebert. To take the phrase from Noah, and I'm not going to do it, but all the wrestling, all the professional wrestling, damn it, and combat sports, and possibly legitimate sports. There is talk, depending on Statboy's schedule, of doing some Olympic watch-alongs. Preferably medal matches, but we're definitely looking at gymnastics so that we can cover Simone Biles. We're looking at, of course, Olympic wrestling. We're looking at basketball with the Dream Team and their quest for gold. All kinds of good shit coming up across the multiverse. So you want to make sure that you don't miss any of that. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on. That way you're alerted whenever videos drop and we go live. Because some of the stuff could be last minute, much like Walter's watch along with Noah this week. That was not planned. That was completely impromptu. But if you had your notification bell turned on, you were alerted to that. So
there you go.
Want to give a shout out to Datilla for popping in, a shout out to Statboy for popping in, of course to the man whose name is on the marquee, Jeff Meacham, for being with us for a little bit. Unfortunately, real life shenanigans pulled him away, so it is what it is. For Mr. Reliable, for the Heeb Man, for the simple man with the spectacular voice, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank you all for tuning into Open Mic Night. We will see you guys next week.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.